Few can understand the pressure of finding your own way after serving in the military. But few isn't none. You've got support. You can't control the chaos, but you can chart your way through it. Steady yourself. Take a breath. You're not alone. Learn more at maketheconnection.net.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Crossover. Oh, killer crossover. Just crossover. You just crossed him over. Danced to another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover.
Hey
guys,
stranger.
I am back.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
Appreciate it. I feel good.
I remember I texted him on Thursday to record the pod,
Which we did.
Which we did. We recorded it.
You did.
And he was like, "I think I'll be okay." And my God,
I
by
wanted
the
to
end,
give it a shot.
we did 15 minutes, and by the end of it, his voice, like I told him after, I was like, "Dude, I could have done the close."
I don't want you to be offended.
Me
but when
or
no,
him?
either of you.
Okay.
But when I receive those from you for assembly, I don't listen to them.
Yeah, well,
I check out the beginning and I check out the end, right?
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
I
I'm
just
not
slide
offended.
it into the deal.
Yeah.
And so I listen at the beginning, and Connor opens it, and he sounds like Chipper Connor. And I,
And then
good,
you
he
listen
sounds
to
like
the
he's
end?
healthy. And then I went back, and I was
I'm dying.
I just needed to be constantly chugging water.
Yeah,
the whole
that's what he
time.
did every time I would speak.
Yeah.
And it sounded
Water.
it sounded like the God, what was her name? The lady in Goonies who played the heel in Goonies.
Like the actress?
Yeah, I think she played Large Marge in oh my God.
Oh, and Large in Charge or whatever.
No.
Oh.
Who was the comedian?
I don't know.
Paul Rubens.
I don't know.
The skinny guy. You got
Carrie Green, Martha Pimpton, Ki Hui Kwan. I'm just naming people.
No. I'm trying to think of the movie.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
Pee Wee Herman.
Okay.
I think she was Large Marge in Pee Wee Herman.
Okay.
And that's what you sounded
yeah,
like.
that's what it
So
was,
it's a very long-winded way to get to the punchline, which was you sounded like Large Marge.
I did.
Sounded like death.
I did.
Or death.
I was happy when I turned on the radio and I got in my car today and I heard your voice and I was like, nice.
It's pretty normal.
Yep.
Pretty normal.
He sounds good.
It fades if I talk for like 20 minutes at a time, but we're
Got to stay on clock, then you don't have to worry about that.
That's right.
That's right.
Josh, we're staying on clock today.
We're getting back up there. Yes, I feel fine.
Good.
Every once in a while I'll just yak a cough, just, but it's really no big.
By the way, should we have been tipped off we're watching a replay of the NFC Championship?
Not for long.
Should it have been a tip-off to us when Anita Baker really didn't do a good job
Was
on the
the
national
anthem bad? I
It
saw
was
a
not
couple
good.
tweets. I didn't watch
It was
it.
not. She was just. It seemed like she was because she's like holding her hand over the earpiece. I think she was thrown off a little by the echo. It just
They didn't have mix minus set
It
up
wasn't
correctly?
in tune. It
Producers.
It just seemed like she was way off.
It seemed a little rushed, is what I thought.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It
Bummer.
wasn't great.
Bummer.
And
I
so
missed
it should have been a harbinger of things to come.
Yeah.
I wanted that to be the night game. I wanted the Philly game to be the night
Thank
game.
God
I'm
it
so
wasn't.
glad it
And
wasn't.
I'm really happy it wasn't. But I for some reason I had it in my head that was going to be the night game. I was like, this is going to be awesome. Night and 6:30 start in Philadelphia. This is going to be off the chain. And I'm glad it didn't end up that way.
Yeah, it was like when Purdy got hurt, it was like, well, this game's over.
Yep.
And then they tie it, and I'm like, oh, what an interesting game. But then the end of the first half, it's like, all right, never mind. This game's definitely over now.
I just thought it was going to be Christian McCaffrey every single play and just see how far that could go.
And they never went to it except for maybe at the very, very end. It was just like,
you're talking about like doing a wildcat. You were just saying like they're just going to hand it to him every play.
Yeah.
And I thought they were going to go wildcat.
I did too. I was surprised that they didn't do that earlier.
And and I'm being honest. I know Frisco fan out there is triggered at me today because
what did you do to them now?
Well, I may have reminded them that it's been over 10,200 days since their last Super Bowl.
People forget the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl more recently than the 49ers.
Your 10,000 day anniversary is coming up this year.
But tough luck for the 49ers.
But in all seriousness, I just wanted a great game. It really didn't matter to me who won. But as soon as Purdy went out, it was like, Philly needs to win this game because I don't want the Super Bowl in 2 weeks to feature Josh Johnson versus either
or
Mahomes
maybe
or Burrow.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Or maybe Jimmy Garoppolo.
I didn't want to see Jimmy G. I'm sorry. Been there, done that. He's not good.
Yeah. No, it would have been a miserable 2 weeks if we were talking about, Jimmy G's got to make it back now.
Yeah.
That would have been a bad story.
I mean, sure, we would have gotten
we got
all
the best two teams. It's great.
We wouldn't have to hear about the Kelce brothers for the next 2 weeks, but
Travis
finding
Kelce's
out, finding out what Josh Johnson did for a living once upon a time, didn't sound like.
Congrats, Nick.
He just played in the NFL.
Nick,
it's true. It's true.
Nick found out some information.
Yeah, I wasn't directly watching the game, but my friend was. He's like, they're bringing in Josh Johnson. I'm like, who? Apparently, he was really good in college.
He used to pitch for the Florida Marlins.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that.
Josh Johnson.
Oh, well,
nice.
He was drafted to the Bucks in 2009, 5th round, 160th overall. In his career, he's got like 2,000 passing yards, and he just fell off a cliff.
15 years.
I love this.
I remember when he played for
I love
Washington.
when Nick learns about football.
Well, the best part was
It's
during the
so much
commercial. He
fun.
goes, I learned about the fourth stringer for who said the Chiefs. And
I said the Chiefs.
We're
But
like the Chiefs.
I know what I meant. I just said the wrong thing.
Yeah.
It happens.
Hey, be
It does
careful.
happen.
Be careful. That's a sign of disrespect.
Oh, to the Chiefs?
Yeah.
Darn.
And
We don't want to disrespect.
No,
Sorry,
we do
John.
not.
No.
We do not want to disrespect. We are not disrespecting the Chiefs.
Never
We're
would.
a very
all.
respectful show of the Chiefs.
For the next 13 days, we are not disrespecting the Chiefs.
I just want Chiefs fans to know I picked you to cover. I bet on you to cover. And I also didn't say Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the NFL. My co-host, I can't say that he did those things, but I can
took
tell
that back.
I can tell you what I said.
I took that back.
But did you call it Burrowhead?
No, I thought it was funny, but
I did too.
And then I also thought Travis Kelce was hilarious in that
He was.
moment. That was great. Burrowhead my ass. That was very funny. Very funny.
Did he have the
Then
better
proceeded
moment?
to plagiarize The Rock.
Yeah. Did he have the better moment right after the game or on the podium?
So I missed this. What happened on the podium?
Well, he plagiarized The Rock. He did the whole, jabroni, know your role, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
He
told
basically
the
did all The Rock's lines.
He told the mayor of Cincinnati to know his role.
Yeah.
And he called him a jabroni, which was pretty great.
That's pretty good. I like
pretty funny.
the immediate post game was pretty funny. I thought that was awesome.
He just comes in. Mahomes is there, like he's trying to keep it pretty calm. He's like, "Yeah, no, we just great team."
And he had the
effort."
cigar line saved
Travis
up
Kelce
too.
looks like he's already 7 beers in. He's like, "Ah!"
What are they putting in the Gatorade?
You know what's amazing is like these athletes are at the top of their profession. And they are just as petty as all of us. Like they're the
Of course
exact.
they
are the
are.
same as us. They're just more talented in everything they do. But they're exactly like us. Where they're like,
Exactly,
I'm going to
because-
talk trash to that idiot on Twitter.
Because
Nice.
they're dealing with the same idiots on Twitter. In fact, more idiots than we are. And they have to deal with the guy across from them on the line of scrimmage and the other team who's, probably talking.
Mm.
So, yeah.
And they have lots of avenues to talk too.
And
they just talk.
And they're all
week.
like hepped up on their adrenaline. So it's just like, what's amazing to me is the people who can somehow keep it calm and level-headed in those situations.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When you're coming off an emotional situation, good or bad, and
you're not like that.
Right. That's tough.
Triggered Mike, who is always triggered.
Hey, Triggered Mike.
At anything we do. He says, John worried about listening to Kelce Bowl for 2 weeks, LOL. What about us having to listen to you guys slobber on Burrow and Allen since week 5 of Hot Take Market?
Interesting. Mike's
slobbering.
keeping receipts.
Mike, I got a bad news for you. Joe Burrow is a good quarterback, and he's going to be around for a while.
Well, crap.
I
Mike's
mean,
gonna be tweeting for a while.
I know, but Mike, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Stop slobbering on the Bills.
I'm sorry that I picked the Bengals to win.
Idiot.
I apologize for disrespecting your franchise.
Oh, wait.
I'm going to get down on my knees right now.
Where's the video at?
Oh, Patrick Mahomes, you are my quarterback god. You are the greatest I've ever seen in my life. No one is ever better than you.
He is really good.
Somebody had to do it.
I mean, I can't believe that I doubted you on one bad leg.
That was stupid.
At least somebody's the
I am-
adult in the room.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you, John.
I am so ashamed.
You
of
look like
myself.
LeBron James
Please,
right now.
Like LeBron,
Please.
exactly.
Did you see this? Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I saw.
Do we have it in content today?
Good God.
I don't think we have it in content today.
Oh, you got to talk
We should.
about it.
Yeah, let's just do a whole segment on it. Get that video.
No, I'm
uploaded.
not doing a segment on LeBron James.
No, you
losing
can
his
make
It
mind.
fun
sounds
of
like
him.
you have something to say about LeBron.
Yeah.
No,
Why
I
don't you
really,
get back on your
no,
knees?
I really don't. I really don't. All right, I'll get back on my knees. Michael was better.
Oh,
There you go.
nice.
Pretty funny stuff.
So
That
there
was
you
good.
go.
Good
That
job
was
by
good.
LeBron. I don't know. I thought he was gonna get his way after a while, after 5 minutes of being on his knees.
Being on his knees, just flailing around. And then the NBA players, I mean, first of all, keep in mind, was it a bad call? Yeah, it was a bad call.
Yeah,
Was
it was
the
a
worst?
horrible call.
Yeah, but what is it the worst NBA call you've seen?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. It's not
Well,
even in
that's
the
a good
top
question. It's
10,000.
The worst.
Fouls like that don't get called happen
None of
all the time. But then the NBA refs union comes out and says,
We apologize.
oh, we're so sorry, Mr. LeBron, Mr. King, Mr. King James. I
John's
can't
on his
believe
knees
that
again.
we made this terrible, egregious mistake that we make every single game. But because you spazzed out on the floor like a child,
You really
we are
did.
and it happened on national television with maybe a couple more people watching that would normally watch your game. We're so sorry.
He
How
couldn't
about
control himself. He was just running around, flailing his arms. He ended up on
In
his
a
knees.
now, first of all, I will tip my cap to LeBron. It's a meaningless regular season game, and he's treating it like the NBA Finals.
Right, like it's game 7.
Like,
Good on him.
yes, for caring that much.
Hey, there you go. That's what people say. The NBA players don't care. LeBron cared.
LeBron cared.
How about the NBA with a rare triple header on ABC on a Saturday? I was like, what the hell is this?
They're like, it's time. We're
Because
here.
after the Creighton game, I was like, all right, I don't know what I want to watch now.
Nuggets,
and
Sixers.
And that I was like, what is this game doing on ABC on a Saturday afternoon?
It's amazing.
So I had a little of the Nuggets on, which I have a long shot ticket for them, by the way. Let's
Yep.
go Nugs.
Yep.
Huh.
Let's go Nugs.
First place in the
Yeah,
West.
I guess not long shot. Good odds, though.
I don't even remember it. Oh, I watched the Royal Rumble because it was the only thing.
Hey,
on
me
Saturday
too.
Night.
What did you? I heard you ask Josh about it, and the way you described it was very funny. You didn't call it the Royal Rumble. You were trying to figure out what it was
The
called.
big something party.
The party. That's what it was. The big party or whatever.
The big party.
Well, it's like those rules, we
They
can't
just
use
run
the official
in. They
name.
keep running in.
The
There's a
big party. If the
Yeah.
if the NBA marketing department were in charge of naming the Royal Rumble, it would be called the Big Party.
Big
Big
party.
party.
Do we know what happened to Rey Mysterio, or did he just not show up?
Apparently, he didn't show
just
up.
didn't
I
show up.
thought he died a long time ago.
No, he's
No.
still alive.
I remember
No.
when they took off his mask in WCW, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, Rey Mysterio."
Whoa.
Jr.
Well,
got
apparently
his
they
mask
ran
taken
some
away.
angle because his son is now a bad guy.
Oh,
His
yeah.
son is wrestling now, and his
Rey
son
Mysterio-
came out to the big party.
the third,
and,
right? Because wasn't he Rey Mysterio Jr., the main one?
his son's name is Dominic.
Yeah, it's Dominic Mysterio.
He walked out when he got
Rayola.
Tommy.
No, but when his number came up and he came out, he was carrying his dad's mask, and then
he tore
proceeded
it
to
apart.
tear his mask apart.
Oh,
And then he grabbed it-
What is this? 2020?
Yeah.
Then a kid had a Rey Mysterio mask in the stands, and he just grabbed it and chucked it.
Jeez,
Very rude.
not on masks.
Yeah.
What a show against Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Didn't know we were
Interesting.
so out on Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I watched the NBA.
Yeah.
Look, the Eagles
didn't
are about
even-
to score, and they're going to do this dance. There's this dance.
Oh, there's that funny Kelce guy. Ha ha.
Jason, you got to respect Jason.
I respect them both.
Get on your
They're
knees
great
and
players.
respect Jason.
Yeah, say something about Jason now.
No. I like them both. I didn't.
It's a new bit. It's a fun new bit.
John goes.
Yeah, but
John
it
gets
hurts
on
now.
his knees.
We need.
Oh, this ground is not soft.
yeah, we need
Yeah.
the kneeling boards like we have at our church.
Mm.
Oh yeah, we
I
should
need-
do one of those pull-ups.
We need kneelers.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't get anything else in
Oh,
here.
yeah. Look, how
but
about
we need
John on
kneelers.
Saturday night just, reminding all of us that we're heathens by being like something. I was at mass, something.
Well,
Geez, sorry that I wasn't at church, John.
Well, that's what a good Catholic does is they guilt you.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're a new Catholic.
But
You
secondly,
picked it up fast.
Well, I'd realized when I got home that
what did you miss again?
I hadn't posted the post-game audio.
That's what it was. Yes, she was like, sorry, I was at mass.
But as soon as I got home, the wife wanted to go to church, and I was already dressed for it.
Perfect.
I actually felt like standing up and looking around at all the people in their jeans, going, "Look at me dressing
I'm
up
wearing
for church,"
a jacket.
while the rest of you bad Catholics aren't dressed up. And then right after that, we went to dinner.
Nice.
So it was a couple 3 hours.
Sounds like a lot of excuses to me.
So what's the thought behind Saturday mass versus Sunday mass? What's the why Saturday?
Well, it's so
instead
much
of
better
Sunday?
Saturday if you can do it, because then Sunday morning.
That's what it is.
See, God.
It's so much better, man. When I get up on a regular Sunday, right?
Yep.
In the fall,
don't have to go to church.
I like to dive in and maybe work on some of the numbers from the Husker game and, polish up some takes and whatnot. And while I'm watching the NFL game day morning and Michael Irvin's, being funny and acting goofy and stuff. And
he does do that.
And then all of a sudden you look up at the clock and it's like 10 o'clock and you're hearing the wife go, "Are you getting ready for church?" And I'm like, damn.
It's Large Marge.
I can't. I won't be able to watch when Rich Eisen and the boys go coming out of the tunnel. I'll miss that.
But you can't do Saturday mass in football season because you got the Huskers to watch or college football in general.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, I have done the Saturday mass during college football season, but that was only.
Is it like the SEC FCS week? You're like, I'm okay.
Yeah, or when the Huskers aren't playing.
Bam is playing the Citadel again. I'll go to church tonight.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it's always better to get it out of the way on Saturday night if you can.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whoa, Yippee says Mary Our Queen has the record for Saturday night mass. In and out in 30 minutes.
Whoa,
now that's a service.
That's huge.
Guess what? St. Peter's ain't ever going to break that.
Yeah?
Ever.
What's St. Peter's? How long is St. Peter's?
Oh.
Hour?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean, you got to block away an hour.
Oh, yeah.
You got to block away.
Wow,
yeah, they don't believe in expedited mass.
Yippee adds that Saturday mass is typically no music, so it's about 15 minutes shorter.
See, and ours has.
Wow, you're not praising the Lord.
See, ours has the music.
Some of those songs are bops. Need to hear the music.
There's no bops.
Not the diocese in Lincoln. I've heard stories about these places.
No, there is nothing bopping.
I was confirmed
There is
Lutheran.
nothing
We had a lot of
bopping in
bangers.
that
I like
hymnal.
when they take the extra effort sometimes and they sing the actual words that are coming out of the like. It's not a song. They sing the words.
prayer. Yeah.
Yes, they sing the words.
Oh yeah, that
And
triggers me the most
Lord is
because
with you.
because it literally takes twice as long. I'm like,
exactly.
Or sometimes
Let's go.
they'll just
That's
kind of
when they
lean
really
on
wanna
the word
drag it
Lord.
yeah, when they sing the Lord's Prayer, that's just like, oh.
So I didn't grow up Catholic. So Catholics, please don't get triggered by this. I grew up non-denominational. I went to church,
Get on
but
your knees.
I remember I would go to a Catholic service every now and then, and they give you a little pamphlet. Do you guys get a little pamphlet before that has like all the you're going to go to page 75 and do all these things? It's
No,
like, geez, I can just
actually,
take this and
doesn't.
read it, and I'm good to go with church today. I
Yeah,
don't even
they-
need to do anything.
Yeah, they
Where
don't
my
do
dad,
that at
he
ours.
preached off the cuff.
Yeah,
He
they
had
don't
his
do
notes.
that at
Off
ours.
the cuff.
We just have to open our books and figure it out ourselves.
Oh wow.
In my church, they'd always be like, "All right, go to this hymn. It's on this page."
Mhm.
Well, how
Sometimes
usually
they
have
wouldn't tell you.
like an old wooden plaque on the wall that'll say all the numbers.
Yeah,
and
the
hymns.
Bible and the hymn.
Those are the
right
hymn
there.
numbers.
Yes.
Those are the hymn numbers.
Yes.
But
The prayer numbers.
But the little book, the playbook,
Playbook.
the missalette, as they call it, it's done in chronological order. So it says, October 30th, the 7th Saturday.
That's right.
blah,
It's
blah,
the
blah.
same prayer
Yeah.
on every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of easy to follow.
Are you a Catholic boy?
I am.
Nice.
I don't attend much, but I am. Catholic.
So did John's tweet make you feel bad? Like crap.
I didn't see John's tweet
I'm
actually.
not a Saturday mass.
So I didn't have to feel bad.
Start going to Saturday mass with John. You guys could be
I
Saturday
could.
boys.
I definitely could.
It was
Yeah.
crowded in there this week.
Really?
A lot of people were following the whole Saturday. I mean, it was. It
People
was
wanted
like,
to watch
it
the
was like
conference
They said no
championships.
NFL
Yeah,
games. We're
exactly.
going to
They
Mass.
wanted to tailgate.
We want to make sure that we are home to see Rich Eisen say coming out of the tunnel.
So are you guys gonna be Saturday now? For most of the next few months when you're not busy with
see that's the thing. is
games,
with
you got
Creighton
baseball
basketball.
coming
Next
up.
week's the
happened to
Daytona
work out.
500.
Yeah.
You have to go to Mass on Saturday this
Oh.
week.
That's
It
true.
happened to work out perfectly because I got home at 3:30 and Mass was at 4.
Oh, nice.
So
Good
the
timing.
wife
Oh,
texted as I was driving home saying we could hit up Mass and then go to dinner.
Nice.
And then she was like, well, she wasn't triggered at me, but she was.
Probably was.
But I was starting to drive from church straight to the restaurant, and I missed the turn into our neighborhood. And she's like, "Where are you going?" I said, "We're going to dinner." She said, well, aren't we going to go pick up Sam? Because Sam was still at home and he was going to go. Said, text him and tell him to meet us there.
Yeah, he can drive.
And she's like,
he has a car.
You don't even want to go straight. I said, I haven't eaten since early this morning. I'm going to dinner.
It's time to sit down right now.
What'd you have?
We went to our favorite Mexican restaurant.
Oh, hell yeah.
Las Margaritas.
Oh, do you have a margarita?
I had a marg.
Oh, man. You see Frost?
I did not see Frost.
He's sipping margs in Arizona now.
That's true. Thank you, Nick. And it's $5 million
the good
home.
stuff.
But I had my carne jalaense and
I always got that's a Saturday, man.
I get the different at this place. Usually it's the steak ranchero, but this one was the carne jalaense, which is just a different sauce, but it's like sliced steak mixed with onions and tomatoes and jalapeno peppers and a spicy red sauce.
Yeah,
that you can.
Good.
They serve you the tortillas on the side. I never take. I just eat it straight because I'm eating it
like a bowl.
Yeah. I'm just.
We're having enchiladas tonight. I'm
Yum,
very
yum,
excited.
Yeah.
Very excited.
You guys have great ideas.
And we had wings yesterday. It was great. It was a good weekend. A good food weekend.
Yeah.
The grill had to work really hard in the cold weather.
Yeah.
But by God, it got the job
How
done.
about this? Like, get past today, and it's like kind of nice now the rest of the week. You seen this? You looked at that forecast?
That's interesting, Josh.
It's looking good.
High 36
what are
on
you trying to
Wednesday.
say?
No, I'm not trying to say that. Not trying to
It's
say
January 30th.
No, not trying. I'm just saying it's looking a little warm. Melt that snow.
Melt that snow.
Yeah, I loved waking up on Saturday morning. Oh, look, what's this garbage outside? I woke up, so I was up early, 4:45. Not to do anything in particular because I don't have any quarters.
They're trying to make us feel bad.
But I look out I'm like, why is it so bright outside? And I look out and it's like, oh, because it's snowing and reflecting. Science. I don't know how it works, but it's always bright when it snows.
Yeah.
Even when it's dark.
Yeah, it was fine coming into town. And then all of a sudden,
Still AM radio.
The little digital boards on the interstate were saying slick roads, slow down. I'm like, what? And as soon as I got into Omaha, the roads were all wet.
Yeah, it was garbage.
I was like, crap.
Yeah, this sucks.
Like, stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah.
Yep. We're getting there though. There'll be college baseball on in like 2 weeks.
That's right.
Oh,
come on, Josh.
Man,
get excited.
I'm out on sports. I think I'm done.
What?
Really? About a month away from Formula
Oh, because
One.
the Eagles made the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And are going to win the Super
I
Bowl?
texted Stibbs. Yeah. I texted Stibbs.
No,
Do not
I'm sorry.
disrespect.
I respect the Chiefs. I'm sorry.
Get on your knees, Happer.
I respect the Chiefs.
I'm sorry for coming.
Yeah, I'm going to read the text that I sent to Stibbs yesterday. I don't think there were any cuss words in it, so I think I should be okay. I go, you used to always say, Josh, you don't understand. You hate the Giants, but you don't have to deal with Giants fans. And I'd scoff and say, I know Robin Wash it, bro, or I did say the S word. And then you'd shake your head. I now date and live with an Eagles fan, and I want to apologize. You were right. I didn't understand. This effing sucks.
Wow.
It's horrible. This is the worst. I've never been more depressed about the end of a football season. I'm distraught. I'm not going to call my therapist, but I think I need to talk to you. I don't know how I'm dealing with this right now. It's bad.
Why is this worse than the last time?
We weren't dating.
Oh,
I was going through a divorce.
yeah.
I was going through some other stuff at that time.
Well,
yeah.
Wow. Bad look for Riss. It's worse now dating you than he's going through his divorce.
She's really happy, and I'm like happy that she's happy, but not the reason that she's happy. Oh, this stinks.
How are you going to refrain from rooting for the Chiefs in the house? Are you going to have to watch the Super Bowl?
Root for the
Are you going to
She
go to
wants to
mom
have
and
a
dad's
party.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I can't. I'm like, are you sure?
You gotta
We've
leave.
invited people over.
Are you going to be at that party? Or are you going to step out?
She's making Philly cheesesteaks and she's making barbecue. Like, we're doing all sorts of stuff.
I guess back in the day, 10,000 days ago when the Cowboys won, we had Super Bowl parties. I had video. I wish I could find it. I had video because I had to do it for one of the video projects in the broadcasting class.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And so I decided to kind of do a day in the life of our Super Bowl party.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was the first Cowboys-Bills game.
Oh.
And it was I was so proud of myself because the living room was packed. So I'm laying down on the floor with the camera,
like on his knees at the beginning
shooting
segment.
up
Nice.
towards the TV
In the angles.
during the Leon Lett play.
That's awesome.
And it was so cool because the whole house, they were hooping it up because, it was a bad game. So it was like every time Dallas scored, it was great because
hell yeah.
And so the place is going nuts. Go, go, go. And then Don Beebe comes and slaps the ball and you just hear this whole collective, oh, and I took the camera and I panned it around.
You saw the video?
I wish I could find it.
awesome.
That'd be great. We could
It'd
put
be a
on
great
1620
YouTube
the zone
I
TV.
wish I could find. If I can find it, I will try to dig it up because it was. It wasn't. I mean, I didn't get a great grade on it because apparently I didn't do something right. But
Yeah, you got to check all
that
those
team.
but it
boxes
was.
or things
But
you
I
have to
liked
do.
it. I thought it was kind of fun.
Hmm.
So what I'm saying, Josh, is you can pull off this party even
Yeah.
if a team you hate.
Well, why
is
don't you
playing
make
in
a
the game.
video documentary about it too?
Yeah,
because the Eagles are going to win, and I'm going to be very depressed. So I think I'll just go to my room and hang out with Banks. Hey, you gonna want to go? I was thinking, like, do I have to watch the game? Like, I thought about that as I drove home last night to my house.
You
with my
have to
parents.
watch the Super Bowl. Yes.
I know,
Yeah.
but I was like, Stibbs didn't watch when the Chiefs played the Bucks, but he also doesn't talk the whole time. Didn't talk the whole time. I debated it. I'll watch. I guess. Not excited.
No, you're gonna watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll just volunteer to take Banks out every time he needs to go outside. Oh, I'll take him out.
Do you have any hatred toward the Chiefs? Like, what's stopping you from enjoying
Their
the
fans.
Chiefs?
I mean, look, he was also right about the.
knees.
Never mind. Their fans are redacted. I love Patrick Mahomes is like my favorite player in the NFL. So I mean, it's gonna be pretty easy.
Well,
on
I thought
him.
you hated Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I know. Some people do think that because I was like, I think the Bills might win the Super Bowl. Oops.
It happens.
It does.
What a strong take. I think the Bills
Yeah.
might win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. John
You
was
hate
right.
Patrick Mahomes.
Buffalo overrated.
Yeah, Buffalo overrated.
I should have jumped
Hashtag
on.
John was right.
Should have jumped on the bandwagon. Hockey Dad says, I would love to be a fly on the wall just to watch you at this party. It should be live streamed. Nah, probably for the best that it's not.
Yeah.
Just
I think
mute
they
the
died
audio.
in the Neil Purge, but the only time that Josh was recorded watching a game.
I think it's on the wall somewhere.
Is it
isn't
still there? All of Josh's nose and
Which game was it?
Where would it be?
it was
Cowboys,
Packers
Packers.
when
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers hit the big play at the
Yeah.
end and they
Yeah.
kicked the field goal
Nick,
to
just
walk
keep
off.
scrolling through walls.
that game was on TV.
That was
last week.
that was
Keep
back when the
Nope.
that was back in a different
come back,
time.
Nick. No, never mind. Keep scrolling.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
know where they are. They're on the left side. It's just like, keep going.
Keep going.
Nope.
Keep going.
Nope.
No, go.
Nope.
Go.
Nope.
They might
No.
have been
So many
purged.
No,
drops.
come on. They're still there. Keep going.
I think they were purged. I think they were purged.
Nope. Oh.
Uh,
Yep, there they are.
Oh,
Top Nick on the far
Yep,
left.
right
It says,
there.
the one that says yes and no.
Yes.
Yep.
No.
Oh,
Oh, that's good.
God, we use that no drop a lot.
yeah. We ended up doing a game just called Yes or No, and it was basically like what you say on
Yeah.
Sportsmanlike content, but earlier in the show.
Oh, this is a
Yeah.
and
Finally, I think that's when they were down 21-3, and I think that was when they scored their first touchdown of the game.
yeah.
So you live streamed yourself watching that
No.
game?
Yeah, a certain someone was recording me and
A
posting it on
certain
Twitter.
someone who's a
Say.
I wanted to say it. It's a line from a Superbad. Recorded him and then sent. And Nick and I were in Cincinnati. Nick
Yep.
Baugh and I were in Cincinnati, and she sent us the videos.
No, it was posted. They
Oh,
were
no,
getting
it was
posted
posted.
on Twitter,
That's
and then
right.
you just kept retweeting them from the USC 1620 account.
Nick and I were having fun just going back and listening
Oh,
to them. Just
Poor
laughing.
Josh.
The funny part about that was like, do you remember like, we had this huge TV next to the main TV, and it was just on, and it was on some like Tulsa basketball game for some reason. It was like, well, we had the two TV setup, might as well have the something else on the other
Amazing.
one. Yeah.
What could be going on during an NFL playoff?
Yep.
Matters.
Oh man.
Nothing.
All right.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right.
John was on his knees. That was fun.
It's a cup. Well, yeah, but you won't be able to see that in the best of.
That's true.
You're just going to have to imagine me on my knees.
Greg
I
and
hope
Lincoln, throwback
if there's
drops.
one lesson from this is that we do respect the Chiefs.
Yes.
We respect Patrick
Yes.
Mahomes
Yes.
and everything else that has to do.
Even
with the
though
Chiefs.
by the time
Saturday
you
Mass.
hear
A
this
a lot of
again,
respect here.
for the second time, the Chiefs might be 0-14. Might.
Oh, are you
I said
predicting-
might.
Yeah, you said might.
Just like
Nick.
I said, Joe Burrow might be the best.
We
quarterback.
respect the
Might.
2022-2023 Chiefs.
Yes.
That's where
23-24.
we're not so sure.
Yeah.
You want to make any prediction about the
Especially
NFL
after
season?
that scandal involving Mahomes. You know.
If
I
you're
don't
right,
respect on that one.
if you're right, what if something happens in November and people are like, "Whoa, he was a soothsayer."
That high ankle sprain really turned into something different.
Yeah.
Really opened up Pandora's
We
box.
found out he had a high ankle sprain because he kept stashing his gun down there in his sock.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I think this is the 6th January best of.
Wow.
Whoa.
Six
There
a
was-
month? That's pretty good.
There was that span a month. Don't put a quota on it.
That's what it's been.
Yeah, that's the average, Nick, for
Yeah.
the year, 6 a month.
There was
Well,
that
but
one
don't
span. We had
need
like
it-
3 days in a row. where
Don't
they
we
were all
need to
best.
average about 6 a month to have enough segments to cover the?
Oh, we got other things. I'm working on the dumb debates thing too.
Yeah,
Well,
but we're
Nick, but we
probably
won't
not going to
have
see another
We'll have the
fired
full Matt
coach.
Rule gets fired show.
The
Yeah.
full Fred Hoiberg fired show. Oh man, he was fired. All right, see you later.
Let me
Yeah,
just
5
make a
minute
promise
show.
right now.
We're not
there
doing
will
a
not
show.
be a special
No, no,
video
no.
on that.
No
Yeah.
Hoiberg show.
Trev, if it happens, just do it during 6A to 6P on a weekday.
Yeah, like Tuesday at 4 or
Yeah,
something.
no, yeah.
We could probably make that a segment, right?
I have an idea on who could do it if it happens.
Not us.
Not us. Definitely not us.
Could.
Yeah, indeed.
All right.
Bye, Hap. See ya.
Bye.
That's Connor Happer. Had to get most out of him. Had to squeeze as much as we could out of him while he's still healthy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got a program today.
One more comment. Greg and Lincoln, get one of those craft fair wall hangings in this house, but it says, in this studio, we respect the Chiefs. Great
That's
idea,
really
Greg.
funny.
That's a great
Great
idea.
idea.
We'll
We
Put
could
it right
put it.
there. Yeah, we got to get rid of the
we'll
posters.
take down the
Oh,
defensive poster,
no.
but definitely leaving up the
You got to
offensive
keep the
one.
offensive one.
In
Just,
this studio,
just as a reminder,
we respect the Chiefs.
as a reminder that Nebraska's starting quarterback didn't make that poster.
People forget that. Maybe Jeff Sims will be on it next year.
Let's just take down the Memorial Stadium poster.
Okay, one more thing. Did you guys see the tweet from the Chiefs?
Yes.
The one about with Chris Jones? Yeah. No, did you see this?
No, when did
it
this
says so it's Chris Jones. It's from a couple hours ago. My bad. And so it
It
says
was a quote from yesterday.
Yeah, in this house, or don't ever disrespect, and then in parentheses, GEHA field at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
So they added that even though he obviously did
He never
not say
said
that.
it. He just said Arrowhead.
That is so funny.
No, he said GEHA.
No, he didn't.
On the press conference, somebody was like GEHA.
Right, but his original quote was, "We don't ever disrespect Arrowhead," and the Chiefs.
And they added the
They
G.
got the
Twitter.
sponsor. Technically, that should be brackets. It shouldn't even be parentheses. That's just common
Josh,
it's common journalism.
push the glasses up your nose there,
It's
Josh.
journalism.
Your journalism.
Well,
Chiefs,
No critiques.
don't disrespect journalism.
that's true.
You get on your knees,
Yeah, in this house, we respect journalism.
Yep.
And the Chiefs.
and now we'll break on 1620 The Zone.
It's the 5K giveaway on 1620 The Zone. Enter to win a $5,000 shopping spree right now at 1620thezone.com. It's the 5K giveaway on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Keeping it cold with a mix of sun and clouds for your Monday afternoon. A high today in Omaha of 13, but still feeling like the single digits. Luckily, northwesterly winds will remain pretty light. Becoming partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low near 2, but feeling like the negative teens. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust. Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Hey, it's Nick Hanley for Woodhouse Mazda. Now is the time to check out one of the latest additions of the Mazda SUV lineup, the Mazda CX-50. This vehicle was made for outdoor adventures. Equipped with Mazda Intelligent Drive Select technology, traction and responsiveness are optimized with the different modes across a variety of driving scenarios and road conditions. You will love the overall comfort as well. Visit Woodhouse Mazda in Bellevue or at Woodhouse Place Mazda in Millard, Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers, and schedule a test drive today. Woodhouse Mazda, a drive worth experiencing.
Wednesday, the Blue Jays are back on the road as they head to Washington, D.C. to battle the Georgetown Hoyas. Pre-game coverage begins Wednesday night at 5 p.m., tip-off at 5:30. The Blue Jays are on 1620 The Zone and 1019 The K.
This needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
It's coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm former Husker Terry Keneally.
And I'm former Husker Titus Adams.
Titus and I used to sack quarterbacks, but now we're fighting for the children of East Omaha.
Terry and I are on the board of the Q's Fund, which supports the Q's school system, made up of Holy Name, All Saints, and Sacred Heart School, which I am a proud graduate of.
Our students receive a values-based education with the family support they need.
And they go on to graduate high school at a 96% rate.
Learn more about our children at qschools.org.
This edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone is proudly presented by Union Bank and Trust. The program starts now.
KOZN. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO. Don't miss a moment, they'll give you your fix. They're on every day from 2 until 6. Spend your afternoons with John, Josh, and Nick. John, Josh, and Nick. They'll show you what sports talk really is.
Jack Mitchell and Mitch Sherman should be right up Jack Mitchell's alley. I mean, with everyone complaining about the officiating this weekend, might as well have Mr. Bad Calls Matter to just tell us what we should be angry about.
I love talking about refs.
On Sportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone. Husker Athletics, Creighton, and yes, UNO.
And I guess we should start the program by saying, Chiefs fans, we're very sorry.
Get on your knees, John.
We're very, very sorry. Well, the NFL should be the ones getting on their knees. I can't believe that you have been forced into this terrible situation.
Me?
No, the Chiefs.
Oh, I thought you were
the Chiefs.
I was going to say thank you. I appreciate
the Chiefs.
What you said about
By
the
winning
Eagles
the game
making.
last night, they have now been forced into the awful situation where they have to contest the Super Bowl. Carl Cheffers is the referee.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to say at a neutral site.
And a neutral site.
Double whammy.
Oh, my God.
Double whammy. And you know the crazy
you
part,
need to,
John?
You need to get Goodell on his knees and apologize to you, Kingdom.
And the fact, too, that the Chiefs still have the best quarterback in football. Like, I can't imagine. It's got to be tough. It's got to be tough being a Chiefs fan in 2023.
It's a tough day. It's a tough day for you, but we're looking out for you.
The best coach maybe in the NFL. Chris Jones is sacking quarterbacks in the playoffs now. I mean, everything. Wow. Interesting. What a time to be alive. What a time to be a Chiefs fan. Think of all those years where they sucked. Now they have a generational quarterback. Wow.
And
dare to dream. That's a dream right there, man. That's
would I be, again, don't mean to disrespect Patrick Mahomes.
Also, thanks for covering the spread.
As great as they were, as he was.
Yeah.
The defense coming to play.
Oh, couple picks.
The sacks.
Couple deflected passes.
They were on point.
Yeah, they were.
They were on point.
Throwing the bones. Yep.
Yeah, I don't think
they didn't throw
the bones.
Yeah.
But that to me was the difference in the game. And I feel a lot of folks, I guess I must follow the wrong people because, man, there were some folks that were just going off on the late hit out of bounds call.
This is what you and Jack Mitchell, this is what you and your ilk have done.
No.
This is your fault. All you guys do is talk about the refs, and so now everybody else, all they do is talk about the refs. This is your fault.
It's not my fault.
You bitch about
it's
the
my
officials.
fault that I point out when officials are doing bad work.
Yep. Because then everyone's like, oh, it's always a conspiracy.
Well, it's not a conspiracy.
That was a very normal call. He was out of bounds.
He was out of bounds.
2 steps out of bounds.
Now, live in the moment, I reacted negatively.
Really?
But that was reactionary because you knew right then the game was over.
Oh, for sure.
And you never like to see it. But what's one of my biggest complaints about officiating?
Situational
officiating.
Yeah, just because
a situational official would not have thrown the flag last night because they don't want to decide the game. But
the player decided it by pushing him.
It was the right call. Now, you say that, I feel bad for Joseph Asai.
I mean, you can feel bad for him, but also say that was stupid.
I don't think it was stupid.
He was 2 steps out of bounds.
But when you consider when you consider all of his momentum and where it was going to be hard, at that point to back off. It was clearly a foul. Clearly a foul. I'm not arguing that at all. But I also understood why he did what he did, because in that moment, you're like, I've got to get him out of bounds. And maybe he's a little overzealous or whatever the case may be. It was not malicious.
Oh, it wasn't malicious. It was just, you can't do that. That's the rule.
Yeah, it is. It's the rule. Just like you can't hold, but doesn't mean it has to be. Sometimes you hold intentionally, A, hoping not to get caught, and B, to save your quarterback from getting murdered.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I think this was a spot where he was trying desperately to make a play, and he was clearly out of bounds. But why it was all of a sudden a conspiracy is like, people, come on,
well, I think,
really?
Look, as someone, again, Chiefs backer for this game, it was the buildup of some of the other, I mean, them getting the extra down,
Yeah, now that was stupid.
Yeah. I'm very happy. I said this earlier today to somebody. I'm very happy that drive did not result in points.
Oh, yeah.
Because
that would all...
If that would have decided the game,
we would have been... That's all we would be talking about.
Exactly. So I'm happy that drive didn't happen, that didn't result in points, and that Cincinnati had opportunities, and they just didn't execute on those opportunities.
No,
and Mahomes barely ran all game, and the best run of the entire game was the most important one, and it resulted in not just the 7-8 yards that he gained, but the 15 yards, 20 whatever yard run. Harrison Butker.
Now there are others, and again, you could probably spot a holding penalty on every play, but there's a few videos out there of count how many holds there were on that play.
Mm-hmm. I've seen this. I've heard about this, and I've seen this.
I have too.
Yeah.
But honestly, the 5th down situation was the moment that touched off everything. It was the spark that lit the fuse.
Yeah.
And the rest of the game, everything was going to be questioned, and everything was going to be, and it started off by the first game.
I was just going to say, it started off with
people losing their mind over the first game.
Devontae Smith's drop pass on 4th down, no less.
Right.
49ers would have the ball at midfield.
But
just kind of, it began, really, it reminded me in a way of the Sunday that your team won the NFC Championship 5 seasons ago, where that game had controversy, obviously, and there was some controversy in the Patriots-Chiefs game, and it just, like, I know I jokingly said it when the Open was playing, but I do not like when the oxygen is all about refs. It's just like, that is not how I want to begin. I want to start by talking about, like, wow, what a great throw he had. That Mahomes had, or Burrow. How about the high ball, the touchdown? Like, that's the stuff I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And how this is going to suck that the Eagles are going to win their 2nd Super Bowl in 6 seasons.
Whoa!
That's
don't
stuff.
Disrespect the Chiefs.
That's the stuff. I'm just going to try my best to jinx the hell out of this. Man, are they the best team ever? Hurts only has 1 loss this year, John, as a starter. Only 1 loss. Are they the best team of all time?
Chiefs fans, send your hate mail to josh@1620thezone.com. I can only get on my knees so many times today to apologize on behalf of this program. That is the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. Answer the phone on the first ring. You can also hit us up. John@1620thezone.com. Roofery's lineup, as we mentioned, Jack Mitchell, Mitch Sherman, powered by the Roofery's at John Higgins Weather Guard. And we will have Mr. Mitchell coming up in just a few right here on 1620 The Zone. Time to experience the Woodhouse difference and shop with confidence at Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley. The 2023 Chevy Equinox delivers safety and technology with style on every journey. Their spacious cabin, very functional, easy to use. Gadgets and gizmos inside of that cabin. It's all there to help you do it all. And the Equinox right now, you can lease it for $329 a month at Woodhouse Chevy, $329 a month for 36 months, or receive 2.99% APR when you finance through GM Financial. So take that test drive today. You can even schedule that test drive online right now at woodhousegm.com, where you can also value your trade, fill out the credit app, and chat with their knowledgeable, friendly staff. Woodhouse Chevy, taking the pressure out of car buying, whether in-store, in Missouri Valley, or online. Visit Woodhouse Chevy. Test drive the new Chevy Equinox today. Woodhouse Chevy, just off I-29, exit 75 in Missouri Valley, or woodhousegm.com. Chevy, find new roads.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
He was the heart of your family, and he taught you our history. He helped you fix your first flat. He was the best backyard DJ around, and every time he'd tell a story, he'd own the room. But now more than ever, he may feel alone. Today, older adults and their loved ones are struggling to connect in a time when connection has never been more important. But there is something we can do. Embrace our older loved ones through StoryCorps Connect. With StoryCorps Connect, you can honor seniors remotely with an interview about their life. Every interview will be archived at the Library of Congress, becoming part of American history, so that years from now, future generations can listen in.
All right, Grandpa, what's one piece of advice you have for me?
Just 3 words, sweetheart. Live with courage. The man that had the best stories still has plenty of stories to tell. So connect virtually and share the conversation of a lifetime at StoryCorpsConnect.org/AARP. Connect, honor, share. StoryCorps Connect. A message from AARP, StoryCorps, and the Ad Council.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Berry Law today. 402-999-7777.
They say they'll get your biggest tax refund. Jackson Hewitt says your biggest tax refund guaranteed, and a chance to double your tax refund. Thousands in weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes. Your biggest refund times 2, twice the money, so forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
The story of that commercial break is it's over.
On 1620 The Zone.
Well, if you want conspiracy theorists, Andrew writes, I blame Mahomes for the late hit out of bounds. I know he's injured, but all I could think of was the playoff game against the Titans where he was angling towards the sideline and then the defenders pulled up and then he cut up field.
Victim blaming?
I would agree with you, Andrew, but then I would have to get down on my knees again and apologize to the quarterback god. So
Everyone's
I'm not going to do that.
Conspiracy theorist about everything. He was 2 feet out of bounds.
He did pull up in that one game against Tennessee.
Yeah, but he was already out of bounds this time. You can't do this. Is the rule. This is the see now we're debating this.
No, we're not.
Look at what you have
We're
done.
not debating it.
You have done that yourself.
We're not debating it. You know what else we're not debating? The generosity
of Patrick Mahomes is.
Everyone here in Omaha. Thanks for everyone for donating.
Yeah.
We found out after we left the air on Friday from the Hope Lodge, they raised enough paper products to keep them in supply for up to 3 years. Isn't that amazing?
Incredible.
I want to thank everybody who donated on Friday, and we're hoping to get some totals on the cash donations as well.
Yeah.
But Saturday was a wonderful atmosphere. It helped that the Jays played maybe their best game of the season. Had their best win of the season.
Certainly their best, since the 6-0 start.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I think it might have been their best, of the whole year. And in hindsight, I think it's pretty obvious how sick Kalkbrenner was. Now I think that we have like a large enough sample size of them back in November and December versus them now. All over the place.
And it's not just him. I mean, it's the whole group. I've got some numbers we'll share a little bit later on that would indicate the improvement that is there. And the Jays will be back on the road on Wednesday night in Washington against Georgetown.
Early tip, 5:30.
I'm not going to lie. I like these early tips. Of course.
Well, it's good for me. I'm on the call for the women. They're playing DePaul,
yeah.
and that's at 6, so it'll be a little,
Perfect.
little double screen action.
It works for all of us.
Uh-huh.
All right, Jack Mitchell is coming up next, and we'll find out just how many of the bad calls yesterday really did matter.
Oh, boy. He'll have some takes.
Well, we either have to talk about that or...
Oh, the other thing, if he's getting fired. He might be a Cincinnati fan, too. Jack, remember when he was a Chiefs fan for a few days back in the day? He might be a Cincinnati fan now. We'll have to talk about this.
On 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Welcome to Digital Express. On the Fort Omaha campus of Metropolitan Community College, Digital Express is an inviting space for people to learn and interact with technology. It's a place where multiple generations can feel comfortable. A place where K-12 students can come for support and workshops. A place where families can connect, learn, and create. And a place to ask basic questions about technology and receive low-cost technology repairs. For more information, visit mccneb.edu/Digital Express.
Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
Call Berry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. It is a new year and you deserve a new view. Don't wait any longer. Kugler Vision took care of me 5 years ago. They'll take great care of you. Visit their website, kuglervision.com.
Attention sales professionals. NRG Media is looking for an accomplished business-to-business salesperson who wants to take their success and skills to a new level. Is this you? Our account executives work with local businesses to create marketing plans to help them get more customers. On air, digital, on-site, audio, video, it's all part of what you could sell. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Get more info and apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
You wearing ratty jackets from Stephen Barry's. Praying one day Big Red will win the NIT. Ham is the water of meats. Ham the water of meats. Ham is the water
Hey,
of meats.
1620 The Zone wants you to win Gary's Booty. Win $100 or even more every weekday mornings with Sharp and Handley. Listen during the 6 to 8 a.m. hour for Gary and Nick to give the fat stat of the day. Then in the 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. hours, if I can say it right, listen for the cue to call. And if you know the answer, you get the fat stack of cash, and they'll add $100 to every jackpot until the correct answer is given on air. So win your share of Gary's Booty mornings with Sharp and Hanley on 1620 The Zone. Get all the details at 1620thezone.com. It just pops right up on my computer screen.
Wow.
It's a miracle.
Speaking of jackpots, Jack Mitchell.
Now that was a transition.
Hi, Jack.
I don't have any pot. It's just Jack.
Oh, no
Just
pot.
Jack.
Just Jack.
Just Jack.
Mm.
So who were you rooting for last night? We can't do who you're rooting for in basketball for your team anymore, but who were you rooting for last night?
The AFC game?
Yeah. The only game that really mattered because the first one was kind of poopy.
No, I mean I was pulling for the Bengals slightly. I didn't lose any sleep, but I was hoping to see Zach Taylor and the Bengals go to the Super Bowl. That would have been I would have liked that, but wasn't to be. Wasn't to be.
Is it just me? Because occasionally Nance is like the only one that does it. But occasionally he'll mention, the Zach Taylor backstory, Nebraska quarterback.
He mentioned it yesterday. No one ever mentions the fact that his offensive coordinator is the son of the coach who coached him in college, Brian Callahan, son of Bill. I think that's a unique story. It's like, it's very cool.
And now Brian Callahan's getting interviews. He might be the new Phoenix, Arizona coach.
Phoenix Cardinals. That's
going
old school.
back.
That's old school.
That is old school. That's like Neil Lomax days. That's almost as old as St. Louis.
Well,
Cardinals.
Lomax was more of a Lomax was St. Louis.
Yeah. St. Louis Cardinals. Okay. Johnny Johnson days, maybe. Anyway, I actually just realized that earlier this year, the Callahan Zach Taylor connection. So why doesn't old Zach hire Bill? I think they could use some offensive line help, if I'm not mistaken.
I hope Dallas hires him back. Bring him back, Dallas.
I don't know. He's in Cleveland now.
He is in Cleveland.
This is like his longest gig, isn't it?
He's been there
because he came over from Dallas after he came over from Washington, right?
Yeah, and he was the interim head coach in Washington for a few years,
for a year
about
rather. That.
Yeah, when they fired.
That is
one
right.
of those guys.
Yeah,
that is right. But I mean, man, that would be a call I would make after seeing Chris Jones just run amok on that team yesterday. Holy cow!
I wonder if that maybe the reason why he doesn't do it is because, think of the dynamic. If you're Bill, you would be working directly for your son and a quarterback that you once coached.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
There'd be kind of that weird, reversal.
Well, it's like when Monty
Kiffin.
Remember when Monty Kiffin was Lane's DC at USC?
Yeah, that was the one person I was going to bring up. Like, I can't think of any examples of a player who had the coach that having that coach doesn't. Like, I'm sure it's happened. I just don't have any at the top of my mind. But the Kiffins were the first one that came into my mind for having your dad be your underling.
Jack, what is in your time watching sports? Who is like the team that you hated the most that played for a championship?
Non-college?
Who is the
team?
Either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically, I have.
Josh is going through hell right now.
I'm going through a lot.
No disrespect to the Chiefs.
No, definitely not disrespect to the Chiefs. Go Patrick Mahomes. But I'm going through a lot right now emotionally. I wonder if you have an equivalent of having to watch a team that you just loathe to this degree compete for a championship, like Colorado in 1990 or whatever.
It's hard. Yeah, that would probably be it. And then Miami during the 80s, subsequent. But Miami played Oklahoma one year, and I didn't know what to do with that. That was in, I had
87.
87.
Yeah.
Is that right? So I would say, yes, the Miamis and the Colorados of my youth were probably the definitely those Colorado teams.
Do you remember when Rocket Ishmael returned the punt and they called it back?
Yes.
Folks. A referee was involved?
I was so mad because it was like, God, please, Notre Dame. Notre Dame.
How crazy is that you were rooting for Notre Dame?
Oh, yeah.
I was too.
There was no way we were rooting for Colorado to win that title.
I was too. Yeah, I was all in on Notre Dame to win those games when Colorado was there. So that's probably my biggest in the NFL. I don't know, or in baseball or any pro sports.
Who do you hate in baseball?
I guess I hate I guess I hate my team's division. Like, I really don't like the like the White Sox, but I don't know. I don't have I don't know. It's hard to just hate somebody. I mean, I hate the Cubs kind of. When they won in 2016, I kind of hated that. That's probably the best example.
Because
I
was happy
because
for you, John.
he wanted to continue the debate of which fan base has been more tortured, Nebraska ball or the Cubs.
Oh, so the bit was gone.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so
That's part of it. I mean, there was a lot.
Oh, yeah,
that went
he
into
wanted
that.
me to suffer as long as he has with the.
Yes, I still do. I want everyone to.
It's too late now. I don't know if you know this, but my team won.
Who do you hate in college hoops? Is it Duke or is it somebody else?
Oh, nothing compared to conference teams.
Yeah.
Nothing
Oh,
compared
really?
to. Oh God, no. You think my flame of hatred burns more for Duke or Kentucky than it does for Wisconsin or Iowa? Oh,
I don't know.
Hell
Maybe.
no.
Well, those teams have.
Hell no.
Wisconsin played for the national title that one time, but Iowa hasn't ever done that in basketball since I've been.
Has Creighton ever played for a national title, John?
As many times as Nebraska has played in the second round NCAA tournament game.
Oh, wow.
Nebraska's been bad? Oh, wow.
Boom
I hadn't processed that or thought of that. Thanks for letting me know.
And Creighton hasn't been to the Final Four. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
Maybe this year. I mean,
it's looking a lot better.
It's looking better than it did a month
ever
ago.
since we hit rock bottom against Nebraska.
Well, it might have been the next 3 or whatever losses after that, actually, but somewhere
in all seriousness, the other 3 suck too, but the Nebraska ones, this will make you happy no matter what happens at the end of the season. That's going to probably eat at me more than anything else.
Nice.
Had no business losing to that team, but they did. It happens. Can't
What
do
do you mean?
anything.
What do you mean that team when they were full? That
team.
What do you mean that team
right now? I don't care. You can bring Bandamel back and you could turn him into Michael Jordan. They ain't beating this Creighton team.
That team. I mean, they basically.
I mean, the sun was shining on the dog's ass. That's what we know.
So was that one a fluke too? They beat the number. That was the number 1 team in the nation. Was that so? That one was fake too. I mean, which one was not a fluke?
What do you mean?
What you know what number 1 team in the nation?
Your internet's not keeping up with your rants.
Yeah, I'm getting a little concerned for tomorrow.
I know.
Jack.
Yep. Well, can we do it on something other than the thing that we do it on?
Why couldn't this have happened the day after Nebraska beat Creighton? This would have been
his internet was great back in December.
It's like his internet was just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's frozen.
And I paid for a lot better internet since then, so I have no idea.
That's weird. I don't know why. Because you have the same internet as I do.
Anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, so Mr. Bad Calls Matter. Which bad calls should we be angry about today? Because I don't know about you, man, but Twitter last night was a cesspool. People were so mad.
I would say, the third down one. The redo of the third down, was it technically right, but it's just that the dude didn't make a big enough deal about it that it was happening.
That's
I don't know.
Gathering they were trying to stop the play, but here's the thing: if they were really, I've seen the referees come in and stop a play.
Yeah, he kind of half-assed.
That was a half. If you say we've got to do something here, you're running in, and then other officials are running in, and everyone's waving their arms, and they look like those things that sit outside of. Exactly.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about that: it was a clock issue. They could have let the play go, which they did, and then stop the game and said, hey, we had a clock issue here. Yes. And then they could have adjusted the clock accordingly and then just played the game from there instead of adjusting the clock back to where it was and making them do
a third down.
That's where
play.
they messed up.
Yeah, and I obviously don't think the NFL is rigged, but it's situations like that where you really do walk this fine line of allowing people to be very conspiratorial about your product.
Yes.
And that's what the NFL doesn't want. No one wants it.
Yeah. I like what John said is exactly right. Like, you think about a play where there's a defensive lineman who just jumps offside by a half second. Like, all the refs sprint in, they're waving their hands, they're blowing their whistles, they stop it. I feel like that's what you need to do. But if by rule the play was supposed to be stopped, the guy stopped it and it wasn't loud enough, is that a bad call? I don't know. So I don't know. I just don't, more than anything, guys, I don't Go ahead.
No. Yeah, you're a little delayed, Jack, and that's why we're running into this. So go ahead and finish, please.
It sucks. All I wanted to say was the Cincinnati fans now know if there were any of them who were bandwagons, even out or bad calls don't actually impact the outcome of games. I think they now know the truth, or they have a different feeling about that. So I just want the gospel to continue to spread that a bad call, an error, can and does, as a matter of fact, actually, does impact the outcome of game. Every outcome affects the outcome of said game. All of the play, all of the calls. And it doesn't not matter. It didn't not affect the game. It wasn't not why that team lost. It very well could have been why that team lost that game. So I just want to get all those stupid phrases out, and Bengals fans on our side on that now, and I appreciate that.
Jack, I wanted to ask you about Fred Hoiberg because I was listening to Happer on my drive-in today, and he kind of just did a thought exercise of like, do I think that he will be back? Will we be talking about Fred Hoiberg leading Nebraska a year from now? And he said, I don't think that he will. And I wanted to ask you, do you think that the tide has turned this quickly on Fred Hoiberg returning? Because if we would have asked this question 2 weeks ago, and I think that was kind of when we started talking about him getting another season, I would have bet with the promo code 1620, I would have bet that Hoiberg was going to be back for another season. Now, I sense from a lot of people that is actually not the case and that he will not be back for another season. Where are you at? And like, have you sensed the same thing, the tide turning over the last couple of weeks?
I still don't know. I still want to kind of see how the end of the year goes. I think we talked about this last week before I really put an opinion in. Now, if it's all losses, yeah, I think it's a lot more advanced than it stands right now, and it very well could be. But if there's a few wins sprinkled in there, if they've got a few moments, I think obviously I'm stating the obvious here, but I think that makes it a little bit less likely. But no, I'm not. I'm definitely not looking at it as a done deal that he's gone. No, I haven't. Unless there are people there that know something that I don't. I'm still of the belief I was a week ago when I talked to you, or 2 weeks ago when I talked to you, and that's that I think that Trev wants to find Trev probably wants to keep him, probably doesn't want to deal with everything that goes right now with getting rid of him. I think he will be able to make the case for improvement from last year, that willingness to make changes, those sorts of things. And so just strictly on the question of if I had to guess right now if he was back or not, as it stands right at this moment, I'm still a yes, but I'm not super firm on that.
Yeah.
And I would guess, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head where a major program, a power conference program has switched out both coaches voluntarily
in the same
year-ish.
In the same school year.
Because I have to imagine, that's not an easy task, especially when you consider the buyout that's involved and the work that goes into it, and you're trying to nurture along this new football product. Now, I would think that, if Trev had to make a move, he's definitely turned the car keys over to Matt Rule, and he's completely trusting him with that. So it's not like he feels like he has to be, elbows deep into that muck. But it's just it's the work that goes into it. And I agree with Jack. I think Trev Alberts right now is trying to find every reason possible to keep him versus maybe where he was in September, where he had been maybe looking for reasons to
fire Frost. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the case. And again, harder if he loses out, if it's ugly, if there are no moments where, the things feel good the rest of the year, that will be a lot harder. But still, man, if you get, 2-3 games out of this thing, even on paper, the record still is an improvement at this point. And I know people are going to tell me, well, that's low standards. It may be. This is not what I'm saying. This is not what I'm saying for sure should happen. But I'm just saying, if you're looking to make it, there has been, and you come away with 3-4 more wins, and with the knowledge that you were ravaged by injuries, I think he'll probably make that case. I think he probably will.
Yeah, that's the one thing too, and we've talked about it a lot the last couple of weeks, is that this potential losing streak that allows them to finish 12-20 or whatever in that ballpark, it's not happening in a vacuum of just bad basketball. It's happening alongside of the injuries and a team, and going back to the start of the basketball discussion, that did beat Creighton not even 2 months ago. And now it's a team ravaged by injuries that looks nothing like the product that they put on the floor in that win, in the loss to Purdue, in the win over Iowa, et cetera. It's an entirely different program not that long, after they were able to get those victories or good performances at the very least.
Yeah. I think so. And those, you've got that. That's the other thing that he can lean on, is you had multiple moments where they stood toe to toe with teams that they haven't in the past, and you build that into the case for improvement. Again, if you're looking for a case to be made, if you're in a class, in a debate class, and you're assigned arguing the pro side improvement, there's certainly fodder there for you to use. And if that's what Trev is looking for, it will be there for him. So if John's right, if I'm right, if that thought is that that's likely something that he would prefer to have for financial reasons, for stability reasons, for the things that you were talking about, John, there is going to be ammo. There's going to be ammo. There's going to be fodder to make that case to your fan base. I think whether they love it, now they won't all love it. I get it. They definitely won't all love it. There are some people who are ready. There are some people who say anywhere else in the nation you'd be doing it, and I don't know that they're wrong about that. But on the other hand, like, even I don't know, it'd be interesting to see how you guys would gauge the Nebraska fan base right now on where they're even at. Is 50-50? Oh, I don't even think it is. I'm not sure.
I think Jack's asking for a poll question.
I think we'll have to put out a poll question.
I think you're gonna have to put out a poll question. I'm looking at the I have the wrong sheet here. Looking at the schedule here. Illinois tomorrow. Then home for Penn State, at Michigan. Have we reached the point where now you're more of a checker in, or are you still like going out of your way to see? You're kind of checking in on games. Versus
yeah.
Oh,
if I get what you're saying,
I'm there at 6:30.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where if I have something else going on, I'm a checker in. And like last Saturday, I was up in Elkhorn for a volleyball tournament for my daughter. I checked the phone just for the score. Saw the score wasn't too bad in the first half. Checked it again. Saw it was getting a little bit worse. Checked it again. I was like, they were down by 20 in the second half, and I was like, all right, done with that. Don't need to worry about that. Now, if there's a game that's on when I'm at home and I have nothing else going on, I'll watch the entirety of it still. But yes, if I am not going to other things that I could have, and I'll just be a checker in those situations. So yes, to answer your question, I have moved on to a different place in my fandom, and it's sad. It sucks. It really does suck. I'm tired of Februaries like this. I hear, and it always happens too. Creighton always just starts to turn it on right when Nebraska is having their biggest swan song, their biggest crap fest in the year in late January. Man, I feel like that always freaking happens. There's some win against Villanova or something like that. And then I get to hear you talking about the Big East and the conference tournament and the conference standings and all of that crap. And it makes me angry and jealous. And so, yeah, I'm sad. I'm upset. It's very disappointing. Congratulations, man. But you know what? I mean,
disappointing is your internet today.
Jack, before we let you go, how about this?
Or before your internet gives out entirely.
Yeah, or before that happens. You are a strong believer in chopping the days. Keep chopping in terms of winter. Gotta keep chopping. Could we be getting past like a nice, I don't want to say milestone, but
don't let Jack give you an excuse to make that stupid thing you do every year. Don't do it.
It seems like Jack, no, I'm not going to say that, but that days might be getting a little warmer after the next 24 hours or so. I feel like we're getting past a hill.
Oh God,
going into tomorrow and Wednesday especially.
Yeah, I think you're right. I thank you for bringing this up too, Josh. I appreciate this. Is one topic, unlike Nebraska basketball, that does make me happy this time of year. I happen to have noticed that this little Arctic blast that we are getting right now, they've sort of shortened the length of it, so it's not going to be as long. And right now, for the first day today, if you 8 to 14 day outlook, it shows Lincoln and Omaha both above normal temperature wise for the first time today in like a week and a half. Guys, I don't know if we can. I mean, we power through today. Things start going up tomorrow, and then you get into that 8 to 14 time. You got over. I mean, I'm not saying it's over yet, but I'm not saying it's not either. I'm not saying.
I mean, Jack, I'm looking at the weekend right now. I'm looking at the weekend right now, Jack.
Don't you
a
do
high
it.
of 44 on Saturday, a high of 46 on Sunday. That's what that is?
Do it.
That's walking weather. That's Banks, let's go out for a nice 4 miler today.
I went for a walk yesterday. I mean, come on.
I went for a run today. Do you want to?
Oh, crap! Give it! Yeah! Put in a quarter.
It's in my car. I'll go get a quarter during the break. Rats.
Don't you do it, man.
It's also cargo shorts season. Yeah, it's also cargo shorts season, and I saw
he does the 60-degree
guarantee, right?
And then he
because
walks a lot.
Remember, you stole these ideas from him, but you never pay up on your bets. He does.
I was looking at the snowfall normals. If Lincoln doesn't, I don't know what Omaha's at, but last year Lincoln got its second least, either first or second least snowfall ever. We're on pace to beat it right now, to have less even. Lincoln's got like 3.1 for the year. Omaha probably got a little bit more than that, but we're 3.1. Yeah. We still need 2+ inches. You would typically think you're going to get in February, but I don't know, Josh. Maybe you never know. Maybe it's over.
Brian says, Jack's horrible internet always makes me think of the scene in Wayne's World where they're at the drive-thru.
I'm just glad we didn't get a moment where his audio skipped ahead to where it made it sound like he said something that Tony Romo was said to have said yesterday.
The thing that's infuriating with this is that Josh knows this. I've had internet before, so I switched out my paid. I didn't pay more, but got better quality. I get ridiculous numbers. I'm up and down 500 each way. I don't know how it can't work. I don't know. I think it might be your stupid software that you use. That's probably what it is.
Works for us. I have the same internet as you in the same town as you. And
people are saying to get Allo. That's what Jack has, right?
Yeah, you have Allo, right?
That's what I have. Yeah. Yes, that's what I got. You guys said, all of you said it was so awesome. Well, look how dang awesome it is.
Not awesome. That's the answer.
Folks, I encourage you to go back through the archives on our YouTube channel. That was the best one yet, where Jack went from to right in the middle of a rant where his arms are tremendous. All right. Well, I hope you have better success with it tomorrow, because you gotta do the whole show.
Pray for it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. There he is, Jack Mitchell.
Bye, Jack. I don't know if he said goodbye. Oh, there he is.
There it is.
There he is. See you later.
That was so good because his face went from frozen to all of a sudden he's like.
By the way, I've reached out to somebody. Like, we'll see. I mean, the internet, that I'm not trying to have no 4 hours of that. I don't think Jack wants 4 hours of that. So if anyone has a microphone, you want to come do the show?
Let's just drag Jack to Omaha.
Yeah, Jack, come to Omaha.
Just come to Omaha, Jack. John does it every day.
I have a good chance I could probably do it from the airplane better than he could at this point.
That's true. Dave says, Josh, don't let your coworkers, a.k.a. haters, get you down. I live for your prediction. One of my favorite parts of late winter. Love that intro. People forget you predicted the first Super Bowl regulation tie ever. Remind them once more. Make the prediction when ready. Wow, Dave, what a kind message. Look, I've been looking at my model.
No!
It's not time yet. John, settle down. It's
Are
January.
we going to add that to the quarter
no,
jar too?
No, we're going to make him put $100 bill in here if he does that again. I love it. We got Josh to say run.
Damn it. Yes, I got an email from Zach said, when you said walking weather, I thought you did that on purpose, so you didn't say blank weather. No. I was just thinking about it from my dog's perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, Wrigley and I went for a walk yesterday.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
My face was frozen.
Yeah.
So
How's
hers.
Wrigley doing?
She's fine. She's fine.
Okay.
It's Gio that's not doing well.
Gino?
Yeah.
Wrigley's got that Labradoodle fur.
Wrigley, get down!
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
Banks'
ever since we
hair's
did
too
that, ever
thin.
since that moment on the program, we've never had an issue with her climbing up on shelves and stuff.
Yeah?
I think the program helped cure her. Not that she was bad at that.
Wrigley, get down.
You know how you hear about dogs who get up on the counters and eat things? Ever since that day, I don't think I've ever had to say tell her to do that when she's climbing up on a shelf or a counter, or a table.
Bark. That reminds me of Jim Room interview.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Wrigley, get down.
Mitch Sherman's going to move back a little bit today because he is in the
Into the
middle of back into the left. He's going to move into the 5 o'clock hour, so we have a little extra time for you here in the 3 o'clock hour on 1620 The Zone.
1620 The Zone wants you to win Gary's booty. Whoa, wait, what? Win $100 or more every weekday on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. Listen during the 6 and 8 o'clock hours for Gary and Nick to give you their stat of the day. Then during the 7 and 9 a.m. hours, listen for the cue to call, know the stat, and win a buttload of cash. Answer it correctly, and Gary's booty gets even bigger. Yep, we'll keep adding $100 to the booty bank till the correct answer's given on air. Win your share of Gary's booty on Mornings with Sharp and Hanley with 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV Newswatch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Keeping it cold with a mix of sun and clouds for your Monday afternoon. A high today in Omaha of 13, but still feeling like the single digits. Luckily, northwesterly winds will remain pretty light. Becoming partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low near 2, but feeling like the negative teens. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
It's the lowest month-to-month rate of the year with no contract and no enrollment fees at Genesis Health Clubs. It won't get any lower than this, and enrollment fees are waived to celebrate 2023. Hurry, just one day left. Hi, I'm Rodney Steven. It's the new year, and you have set your New Year's resolutions, right? Well, it's time to go. I have good news and bad news for you. The bad news is, if you don't get started, your New Year's resolutions won't happen, and you'll be in the same place next year. You have to take that first step and build habits that will change your life forever. One of my favorite quotes is, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that is absolutely true. And we know you can do it. We'll help you every step of the way. We help hundreds of thousands of people reach their fitness goals each year. And what about you this year? Join Genesis Health Clubs for our lowest month-to-month rate that we'll offer in all of 2023. Plus, no enrollment fees and no contracts. One day left. It will not get any better than this. Join at GenesisHealthClubs.com now because this special won't last. Hurry, just one day left.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The average roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
If you love attending live events, whether it's a big-time sporting event or seeing your favorite artist in concert, then you need to check out my friends at Tickets for Less and their app. It's absolutely free. It brings all of your favorite things about ticketsforless.com straight to your fingertips in one convenient location. Plus, all new users get a special discount code sent directly to your phone just for downloading the app and signing up. So simply search Tickets for Less in your app store, download the free app, and sign up for your discount. It's really that easy. Ticketsforless.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel. Évidemment.
Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson.
I'll kick that 3-year-old's ass.
On 1620 The Zone.
Put it in. Yeah. And it doesn't make as good a noise, but we're making him put $100 in there if he does that damn weather prediction.
Wait, just if I predict
Yep.
it?
Because yes, because every time you have predicted it, it has failed. Every time. It's 100%.
Man, last year I was so close to being right.
Yeah.
No, wait,
yeah. And
2
Scott
years
Frost
ago,
was close
2
too.
years ago. Last year was not very good. Last year I think it snowed when I was in Mexico. But 2 years ago.
No, it didn't actually. You remember you
It was
predicted it to
supposed to.
snow,
Right.
Because you wanted it to snow,
It
and
would
then
have
it
been
didn't.
funny for the bit.
So for the record, I put my 2 quarters in on Friday, just so people know.
Jacob Padilla, friend of the program, correctly pointing out the tweet that you retweeted.
Text. It's a
Or
text message, old
whatever.
man. Rotary
Text,
phones.
tweet, who
They
gives a
don't
crap?
text.
Josh now texting the station himself, apparently.
I would
Yes.
never. Here's the
Yes,
proof,
he
John,
is.
that this wasn't me. This was Dave. The last time he texted
Hello, Dave.
was 5 days ago. So what? Last Wednesday?
Mm.
Strawberry rhubarb pie tastes like a strawberry fruit roll-up. It's amazing. I would never say something like that.
That's
about
a bad
pie.
You would if you were trying to, get the dogs
Throw you off the scent.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And John writes into the Equitable Bank inbox, did your asshat co-host essentially say that winter is about over?
No.
He's trying to
No.
I'm trying to
No.
stop him, John. I'm trying to
No.
stop him.
Again, Dave says hi again.
Hello,
You see,
Dave.
I didn't text. Here's the thing. Winter and getting through it. It's like what Jack says. It's about chopping off days. And so, look, is this weekend a sign that everything's done? Of course it's not. But it's nice to have. I love that first surprise warm weather weekend of winter. It's great.
We really haven't had one.
I know. This is
It's
the first, and
been-
it's taking until February.
it's
Normally
been
we get
really
like one
cold.
good. We usually get like that one good weekend in January where it's like, hey, I'm going to the golf course.
It's a
and
weird 50-degree
yeah,
day.
we haven't had that. So I'm going to enjoy it this weekend. Here's the thing that we need, John. It's not even just the warmer weather. We need the damn sun. It's been too cloudy lately.
Sun's out right now.
It's nice to see the sun again,
Well, yeah,
Nick.
it's
Sun's out, guns
it's
out.
when we're,
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
it's out when we're inside.
That's not the lyric.
Here comes the sun.
And the guns are out. George Harrison, R.I.P. By the way, Jack has tweeted, for all the people who have answers on my internet, please explain how I have this and my video chat capability on your show seems like it's 1998. Sure enough, the download speeds, 509, the upload speeds, 498. Those are megabytes per second.
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
Ours seems to work okay.
It looks like a Josh Johnson-led offense on his internet right now is what's going on. Like all the pieces are
Woof.
great, but then it's Josh Johnson leading the way.
Woof.
Yeah.
And not to go down this road, but wow. I've watched a lot of Frisco games in my lifetime. I don't remember a team that melted down this badly. And I get
Oh, you
it.
talking about the
all
other
of
stuff?
it. I mean, it just piled on top of each other, and I know it was the ref's fault. Well, first of all, credit to the Eagles. They got to the line of scrimmage fast. And thus,
Dude, when a wide receiver
is frantically like
whatever that hand signal was, it was I dropped the ball. We
Right.
need to run a play.
yes.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
In that moment,
I'm sorry that your young genius coach didn't throw the challenge flag.
see, and like
But in his defense, I'll even be nice.
yeah, they keep doing the weird like hurry review or whatever.
Well,
they call
see,
it,
this is
expedited.
why
Let me get a soapbox.
you're damn right. The expedited review is a bad idea.
It should be what, John? Challenge
only.
I've heard
because
this from someone before.
Because now we're stuck in this spot where, well, the replay assist should have come to our aid. No, why shouldn't it? Because it's something that just arbitrarily happens. It's too much like college football. College football, how many times do you see it? A coach thinks the play should be challenged. And he keeps waiting for the Dr. Beeper's buzzer to go off down on the field.
Dr. Beeper's buzzer. That's a store from the 1990s.
Oh, so that was my favorite
Well,
1990s sitcom.
That's from Caddyshack. Dr. Beeper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They keep waiting for the buzzer to go off. How come the buzzer's going off? The buzzer's going off. When the buzzer goes off? No, this is why replay should only be challenge only, because then you're putting all the onus on the people who actually participate in the games, and you're not arbitrarily waiting for some guy in New York to buzz down and say, "Oh, wait, replay assist." And if you looked at the replays right after the play,
well, the first two you didn't see it.
You couldn't see it.
That's it. Like, okay,
You
so
couldn't see
live, I thought, I wonder if that's incomplete because
I did too.
The defender that was closest to the end zone, who essentially was kind of looking into where he dropped it, he saw it and he recognized it and he immediately said incomplete. Now, he didn't throw a fit, which that would have helped too. But when Smith got up and he's doing the hands, I was like, oh, that's absolutely incomplete. But props to them. They got up. Basically, John, they had a throwaway play because Hurts ended up running around through it and then they scored on second down.
See, that's why I think I don't like replay assist. It's too random. It's too arbitrary. And it defeats the purpose of what replay should be about. And I'm, and we had a play in the Kansas City game. There was the throw that Mahomes had to the corner of the end zone. I can't remember who the receiver was. And initially there was some confusion. And then replay assist came in and said it was incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can it work? Yes, but it can also lead to moments like this where a coach is like waiting for it to kick in or isn't sure that they should challenge or not. And I don't think San Francisco was aware that they should even challenge or not.
I don't even think yesterday was about like, should they or shouldn't they, or were they waiting? I mean, props to the Eagles again. They got up and they ran a play very quickly.
But
because the first two replays,
it was brought up by Pete King today. Twice in the first quarter, replay assist likely had enough evidence to fix plays without a coach throwing a challenge flag. The first one was the 4th and 3. Sorry, Pete, you're wrong.
Well, yeah,
no one had a chance to look at that in 18 seconds.
Well, they showed
it was 18 seconds between the end of the play and the start of the next one.
Well, here's
There's
thing, though,
not
John.
enough time.
They showed the replay, and the first two replays didn't show it being incomplete.
Exactly.
It wasn't until they came back right from commercial break where they were like, "Hey, Pereira, this was an incomplete pass."
Right.
Sure enough, it was.
That's why you can't have replay assist. It is too arbitrary, and it leads to too much of this. The NFL's got a conspiracy theory. If you leave it only in the hands of the coaches,
well, that's the funny
then
thing. You know what? If you
decision.
do, John, if you do, I bet the result of everything is still the same because that was on Shanahan.
Yeah,
he didn't
sure
review
it is.
He didn't review it.
Sure it is. But it's one of those deals where if you don't see it, if the official doesn't see it, and I understand why the official thought it was a catch.
Oh, I did too, for sure.
I mean, it's hard. The thing about it is the athletes today are so good. They are so good.
Yeah, that you're not surprised by really good catches.
You don't see catches like this. That's why the Lynn Swann catch from Super Bowl 10 always stands out because it was so different than anything you'd ever seen before in the NFL. And now, receivers have mastered the art of the one-hand catch or, being able to get up and grab it and tuck it in or turn their body in such a way.
Well, how about the A.J. Brown catch on that same drive on third down where he's getting super low? It's like the athletes are so good that, it is kind of like second nature. You're like, yeah, he probably made the catch. And Matt points it out too. If replay assist was called on every close catch, then the game slows down immensely.
Exactly,
and
which is why you just got to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You got to get rid
of it. Well,
and
then how about, I'll own up to something, John. I didn't realize that in the field of play, not a breaking the plane, the play in the Chiefs game, that if you bring it back on your own volition,
Valdez-Scantling reached out.
I didn't realize that shouldn't
either.
have been a first, because if I missed some of the commentary, I was putting something in the kitchen, and so I was like, "Oh, that's a first down," and I went and did whatever. And I come back and there's all this controversy, and then I found out if you reach out but you bring it back yourself for a first down, a field of play, not an end zone, that it technically
and why does that make any sense?
Yeah, exactly. That
It's still, I mean, a 4th and 1 can have as big of an
doing
impact.
You're reaching out to try to
It's
get
no different than when quarterbacks will run out of bounds and you'll see like a Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Josh Allen does it a lot.
Hold the ball out in front of him.
Yeah.
As he's running out of bounds.
Yeah.
So
I don't
yeah, there's things they have to fix, but yeah. First thing I would do is once again get rid of the stupid replay assist.
Yeah.
Because
Simple Appreciation Club, I keep forgetting you changed it. Says the problem with catches today is we can watch a replay 50 times and still not know if it's a catch because the rules are so convoluted. I'll be honest. I feel like I know what is and isn't a catch. I think I've gotten it down pretty well. There was those few years where we were learning, wait a second, that's not a catch. I think I'm fairly confident. That one, I mean, the Smith one is pretty easy, not a catch. That was not a catch. But props to him. That team was ready to get up and snap the ball, and they took a wasted play, and it benefited them because they scored a touchdown next play. And, really, we had the game on in the studio right now. The problem for the 49ers, I mean, beyond the obvious, Brock Purdy got hurt 5 plays into the game or whatever it was. The problem was the end of the first half. They allow that great Eagles drive. They benefit from some penalties.
They
get
had
down,
4
they
defensive penalties on that drive.
And so the Eagles score the touchdown. And in that moment, they're talking on the broadcast, and Greg Olsen pointed it out. We'll find out what they want to do with this drive on first down. If they hand it off, we know that they're ready to go into halftime. And if they throw, they're going to try to move the ball. Well, here's the thing. They threw it, and it worked. And so it's like, what? And in that moment, I thought they should have just sat on the ball. Now they throw it. It's a first down. Okay, good on you. And I mean, you never expect a turnover to happen because your quarterback just can't catch the ball. And then he can't fall on the ball.
Because last week against Dallas, Shanahan did play it close to the vest with Purdy.
With Purdy, exactly.
At the end of the first half.
And it's crazy because it's like in this moment, like this was the game. They go up 21-7. The ball game was over. You go into half down by just 1 touchdown. Psychologically, you're like, guys, look, we lost our quarterback. We're handing it off almost every play, but we are still very much in this game. We're getting the ball first in the second half. Let's get some good special teams plays. Let's get some good defensive plays, and we can win this. In 30 seconds, as we're watching it on TV, the game's over. The game is, for all intents and purposes, over. And that was, look, I am a huge fan of Kyle Shanahan, but his in-game management does leave some to be desired. He is great at building a roster, obviously, and building a franchise. What him and Lynch have done is, I think it's extraordinary that they were down to their 4th-string quarterback, and we were still like, they could maybe win this game. I mean, it says a lot about him, but he had some boneheaded decisions in this game. Not challenging. I don't know how much I want to say it's boneheaded. The end of the first half was stupid. That was really dumb. Really dumb.
And thus, over 10,200 days and counting.
I love how you tweeting during the 49ers game yesterday was so funny because you almost tried to come off as like a beat writer. Like, oh, wow, interesting. What a drive by Philadelphia. Oh, good answer by the 49ers. Even though I know inside you're just jumping for joy. Allow yourself to jump for joy on Twitter.
I'll be honest.
Because you don't want your wife yelling at you.
No. Actually, I sat there and I was looking forward to enjoying the game. And I
love football.
I didn't care who won. I really didn't care until Purdy got hurt. And then it was like, there's no way I want Frisco in the Super Bowl with a 4th-string quarterback.
I was like, I don't care about the Super Bowl. Give us a dud of a Super Bowl. I don't care.
I know.
Just don't want him there.
But you have, you have a reason. You have a reason for that.
Yeah.
You have a reason for that. And I appreciate that.
It is weird. Look, Eagle, I'm not trying to throw any shade. It is nuts, though, this is why getting a 1 seed is so valuable. You get a bye, and they got to face Daniel Jones, Brock Purdy, Josh Johnson, and then Christian McCaffrey. It's like, that's pretty nice. Now they get a bummed up leg, and we'll see what he looks like. Mahomes, it's definitely going to be the toughest one.
Oh, sure.
Toughest of them all. But that's why, we talked about it on the AFC side of things. Getting the 1 seed is so valuable because that means you get to avoid the Cincinnati, Buffalo, or Kansas City, whoever was 2 and 3 seeds. You got to avoid them until the conference title.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the 1 seed. And the same thing for Philadelphia. They got to avoid Dallas and San Fran until the conference championship.
That's right.
Nuts. Football. What a sport.
Well, until 2 weeks from now when Josh is out on football.
I don't know if I'm going to watch.
Big basketball boy.
Wow, between Stibbs not watching to jinx the Chiefs and you not watching to jinx the Eagles.
I'm going to watch Return of the King.
There's going to...
Nice. That's what he did. When the Chiefs, and they lost to the Bucs. He turned on Return of the King. He didn't watch any of the Super Bowl. He said he checked his phone like an hour and a half into the movie, and his dad had texted him something like, "Are you watching this?"
It was actually funny. It was the most enjoyable thing about that Super Bowl was everyone tweeting at Stibbs saying, "You should be watching this. You would be loving this."
Yeah.
And then him jumping in after the game
and
just reveling in it in all the glory.
That's what I could do. But the Eagles are going to win, though. Look at the Yellow Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets.
My God.
All right. Coming back with more after this. It's Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. We are 2 days away from February, and that means it is Love Your LASIK month. At Kugler Vision, they are celebrating with special LASIK savings just for you. I actually heard from a listener, Kevin, on Friday night. He said, legit thanks. After years of listening to the show and ads, I finally got my LASIK surgery yesterday. It's awesome. 24 hours in. Appreciated. And that is such a cool message. He is one of many now listeners that over the last 5 years have reached out to me about scheduling a consultation, already having the consultation done, or having that procedure. I love hearing that. I hope that you, like Kevin, like me, are able to make that same change as well. Give them a call today at 402-558-2211. Schedule that consultation. Check out their Love Your LASIK savings and ditch the glasses, ditch the contacts for good. Find out more information online at KuglerVision.com.
From basketball to volleyball, baseball to softball, soccer, tennis, and so much more, the Creighton sports season is packed with action. The 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law, covers it all. Each week, we visit with Blue Jay athletes and coaches to hear their stories and document their climb through the Big East Conference. The 1620 The Jays podcast drops each Friday morning and is found at 1620thezone.com and all major podcast platforms. Just search 1620 The Jays. Covering all things Creighton Blue Jays, it's the 1620 The Jays podcast, presented by Barry Law from 1620 The Zone.
Omaha Maverick Hockey is top 5 in attendance because of great fan support. And with your help, they've won 6 conference home games in a row and are just 2 points out of first place in the NCHC. Omaha Hockey has 2 home series left this season. Colorado College, February 10th and 11th, and the home season finale and senior weekend against St. Cloud, the #1 team in the nation. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tigs.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
This needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
Coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Welcome to Digital Express. On the Fort Omaha campus of Metropolitan Community College, Digital Express is an inviting space for people to learn and interact with technology. It's a place where multiple generations can feel comfortable. A place where K-12 students can come for support and workshops. A place where families can connect, learn, and create. And a place to ask basic questions about technology and receive low-cost technology repairs. For more information, visit mccneb.edu/Digital Express.
I'm former Husker Terry Keneally.
And I'm former Husker Titus Adams.
Titus and I used to sack quarterbacks, but now we're fighting for the children of East Omaha.
Terry and I are on the board of the Q's Fund, which supports the Q's school system, made up of Holy Name, All Saints, and Sacred Heart School, which I am a proud graduate of.
Our students receive a values-based education with the family support they need.
And they go on to graduate high school at a 96% rate.
Learn more about our children at qschools.org.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders. We're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community. We help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Coming up, we're going to looked at some numbers over the weekend. Creighton has kind of changed its persona a little bit, and it's yielding very positive results. Of course, they won on Saturday against Xavier. Very important Q1 win, home win, and to keep them in the division or conference race. They're only one game back in the loss column from a three-way tie.
Oh my gosh, it's
Marquette,
nuts.
Xavier, and Providence are all at 9-2, and Creighton is 7-3.
And UConn's fallen way back after, what they were.
Yeah.
Again, what a month, January, and just the moving and shaking around this league and what it was when we came into January versus what it is January is now about to finish up.
Yeah, so we'll have some of that here coming up in just a few minutes. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, speaking of hoops, we were talking about Hoiberg, and I still got to put up a poll question. I just got to figure out how we want to phrase it. But Zach writes in, Hoiberg isn't getting fired this season. Trev will give him leeway because he lost two of his three most irreplaceable players for the rest of the season, especially on the defensive end. And this team, when they had all five of their starters, has looked pretty solid. They've only had all five starters for 10 games this season, and in those 10 games, they beat Creighton on the road by double digits and beat Iowa by double digits at home. They smoked Florida State and Boston College each by 20 points, and they beat Minnesota on the road and took number one Purdue to OT. He needs to make sure Ramel Lloyd sticks around to take over the point guard spot. The 1890 collective needs to step up and invest in basketball too, not just football.
Well,
volleyball.
but the 1890 collective is focused on football and volleyball. There is I can't remember. Is it the Big Red Collective? There are three different collectives working right now, and one is basketball centered. So don't ask me if that's a good way to do it or not. I have no idea, but that's the way it's kind of split up right now. You've got the 1890, which is mainly football, but they also do some volleyball. And then there was the Omaha-based one. I think that Chris Brown, involved in that one.
Yes.
And then there is a basketball-centered one. So but listen, I understand the confusion and the frustration out there about trying to understand all of this, which is what happens when you basically, lease out. You lease out your paying of athletes to third parties.
The Big Red Collaborative.
That I can't remember if that's
what Google says.
But go. Like I want to move on from the collectives and just go back to the opinion. I sense that you were more with Jack.
Well, I understand what the emailer is saying. Now it's hard to say. Let's say it keeps trending in this direction, and unfortunately,
John, there's a very real world where they
it
could
could
lose out.
because the Big Ten is the Big Ten. It's a monster. And Nebraska's not in a good way right now because it's down a couple of players.
And let me present this to you. Okay, so on one hand, you lost the players, and that's why you're losing. And it's like,
or at least that's part of the reason. Let's not make it sound like they were a perfect team.
No. That's what I want to say, though. They lost, so you use that as a reason to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, this was a handy dealt, but look, they had improved, yada, yada, yada. You could do all that. Or you could also say, yeah, but they lost players, and then they lost out. That's on him. I understand how you can use the injury situation and what is unfolded since as an argument for or against. Because on one hand, for him, you're saying this sucks, and when they were healthy, they were solid enough. You could also say, yeah, but why don't you have more depth?
Well, I think you can.
I know it's not as easy as that.
I think you can use the negative argument because you've got three other seasons that have shown very poor results.
See, and that's the thing, man. It's not just a 1 year.
If this were the first year or even the second year, you'd be like, but there's three previous years where it was like, oh boy, this was not good.
How about this from Amazing Daniel, who earlier let us know that Creighton is literally the team he hates the most in all sports. He writes in, I enjoyed it in the moment and for the bragging rights, but can we stop pretending that the Iowa and Creighton wins are indications of anything? They both were playing horrible. It's not like we beat a couple of great teams. Yeah, look, that version of Nebraska, if they played this version of Creighton, and I know you can't, it's 2 months later, I'm not picking Nebraska to win that game.
No.
And props to them for doing so. It's not taking anything away from them.
You play the schedule when you play it.
Bingo. Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth. I thought Happer laid out a very good argument for why they will move on from him, because of what you just said. This is not a 1-year thing. It's a 4-year proposition now. And I don't know, man, the thing that I keep coming back to over and over and over when we discuss this is, okay, so what's next year look like? Do you believe that that's going to result in them bringing in these players that stick around for multiple seasons? The way in which they're trying to build, I just don't think is sustainable. And that's
if it's kind of the new way of the world, where a lot of teams, because of the transfer portal?
I don't think it's sustainable with this coach.
Oh.
I don't think he can do it.
Right.
I think, if a coach is good, I think they can. I don't think he can, though.
Hmm.
And, I mean, there was a listener last week who, like I casually mentioned, Fred's a good coach. And he said, are we sure? I think it was Daniel, actually. Are we sure? What evidence do we have? And I mean, the evidence is in the rear view now. When was his last year?
Alma mater.
When was the last year at Iowa State? Was it 15? 2014, 2015, when they were the 2 seed, right?
I think so.
John, that's 8 years ago. It's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
A freshman in high school that year is now graduated from college. It's that's a long time. And so, I don't know.
Well, on the other side of the ledger, the Blue Jays have been rolling lately, and they're doing it with doing something they're known for, just a little bit less. We'll explain as we continue with Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, looks like there's no major wrecks to avoid this afternoon. We are getting reports if you're east on L Street, you can see delays between the JFK and 13th Street. If you're west on Dodge, delays between 74th and 90th. And then it looks like there's delays on westbound 370 between the JFK and Golden Boulevard. And if you're east on 370, delays between 84th and 72nd. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by the Nebraska Lottery.
The Nebraska Lottery has raised over $908 million, which has helped to provide more than 117,000 college scholarships, save wildlife habitats across the state, and fund new facilities at the Nebraska State Fair. The Nebraska Lottery, helping to build a better Nebraska.
Every pro is an MVP to us. As a Lowe's MVP's Rewards member, you can earn bonus points when you shop select products and brands. Then redeem them for exciting rewards like tools, sports memorabilia, e-gift cards, and more. Join today to become a member and start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any, subject to program terms while supplies last. Points expire at end of calendar year. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
With the Baker's Plus card, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. Earn fuel points on every purchase and save up to $1 a gallon at the pump. The Baker's Plus card. All you do is win. Big, big savings. Sign up now at bakersplus.com and start saving. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you'll save on fresh Kroger 73% lean ground beef. On sale for only $2.49 a pound with your card. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, Check us out at repairclinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
NRG Media in Omaha is growing. We're looking for an account executive to present and sell marketing campaigns to local businesses. We're also looking for a client marketing coordinator to help our account executives create and execute marketing campaigns backed by excellent customer service. NRG is also looking for a sales assistant to help with the behind-the-scenes details that keep everything running smoothly. For information on each of these positions, go to nrgmedia.com and click Careers. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Couple of responses real quick. Going back to our discussion last segment. Brian says, it's like Bo Pelini being bad at defense, Frost being bad at offense, now Hoiberg being bad at space and pace. If you want a blue-collar, tough team, get a coach that's good at that instead of someone trying to figure out how to stay above water in year 4. Yeah, I think that's a good way to view it. Like, props to him for changing, but this isn't what he is. You know?
But if you want to play the other side of that, you can make the argument.
Both sides.
Greg McDermott's teams were very half-court centric in his days at Northern Iowa and Iowa State and his early days at Creighton. And then, towards the end of that first season with Doug, they changed completely.
Operative words, first season.
But before that, that's the kind of coach.
No, I know, but at Creighton, he did it in year 1. And I think that is the rub of all this, is it's year 4. One more. Husker follower says, well-coached teams get better by the end of the year, even if it is rough. Creighton is well-coached, not Nebraska.
Josh, did you know it's the 5K giveaway on 1620 The Zone?
Oh, tell me more.
At 3:55 p.m., because the clock just switched, enter to win $5,000 to kickstart your 2023. All the details and enter online now at 1620thezone.com. That's what my computer says.
Cool.
So now my computer is about, oh, wow.
Uh-oh, is this pulling Jack Mitchell?
You just broke my computer, Nick. Thanks for your little gizmo here.
By the way, Aloe Fiber did tweet at Jack. Hi, Jack. Would you please send us a PM, personal message, with your contact information and address so we may look into the problems you're experiencing?
Oh, is the PM personal?
Uh-huh.
I've always read it as
or private.
Yeah.
Private message. You're right, Nick. Yeah, my bad.
I guess the P could be anything.
And one more thing on Nebraska, and then we can move on. Put up whole question. With a change in philosophy, plus early wins over Creighton and Iowa, has Fred Hoiberg shown enough to warrant another year as Nebraska's head coach? We have 3 options. Yes, no, ask me in March.
Vote now. JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed at USC 1620. On the other end of the spectrum, you have the Blue Jays, who have now moved within a game in the loss column of first place after the 6-game streak. Can't remember, was it Parrish at CBS Sports wrote a column after the game on Saturday, Gary Parrish, who said Creighton could be the first team in the last 30 years in major college basketball to lose 6 in a row and still win their conference.
Wow.
Would lose 6 in a row at some point during the season. Obviously, not all 6 games were against Big East teams. But now listen, there's a lot of wood to chop.
Ooh, like the weather.
And with no, you chop the wood so you can burn it to stay warm when it gets cold after you make another one of your bad predictions.
It's up to 10 degrees, folks.
But the trend has continued, and I went back and looked through the box scores. And especially if you look at the last 4 games, wins over Providence, a quality win against one of the first place teams, at Butler, granted, not a great team, but a place where Creighton wins have gone to die, St. John's and Xavier on Saturday. And when you look at the 3-point field goal shooting, 3 of 16 against Providence, 7 of 22 against Butler, 11 of 30 against St. John's, but
as we talked about,
a lot of those happened in garbage time.
Yep.
3 of them happened in rapid-fire succession from Xander Yates.
At the end of the game, yep.
And then on Saturday against Xavier, 8 of 21. Yet they put up 73, 73, 104, and 84 points, respectively. So, as I've watched this.
By the way, it's like 22 3-point attempts a game in that stretch.
When I looked at, one of the things I've been formulating through my head is one of the things about Greg McDermott's formula, his system, is it has lent itself to a philosophy of you live by the 3 and you die by the 3. When Creighton's shooting the 3 well, they are tough to beat.
Mm-hmm.
When they have one of their clunkers, like they had also on this chart, UConn, 2 of 16, they tend not to fare well. And one of the things I have noticed is, or at least have wondered aloud, is this is not an elite shooting team.
No.
You think of the elite shooting team, you think of the 2013-2014 Creighton Blue Jays under Doug McDermott and Ethan Rogge.
Yes.
That was an elite
40-some% from 3?
Well,
ridiculous.
Sorry. Yeah, we'll show you in a second.
Didn't mean to step on
but
it.
what I wanted to, no, you're fine. What I wanted to do was take a look at some sample sizes from the other successful Creighton teams, because I was curious, is Creighton becoming less reliant on the 3?
Because here, let me give you my hypothesis. The answer is definitely yes. They look like a team that is nowhere near, and like some of it is backed up in the overall attempts. 16, 22. I know there was the 30, but as we talked about, 4 of those were super late in the game. 21. Even before that, and some losses. 23, 16, 27, 29, 16. I mean, there's some variance in there for sure, but early on in the year, it definitely seemed like they were shooting more 3s, of course, peaking with that game against Nebraska. So that's my hypothesis.
So this is a 9-game sample. This is going back to the end of the losing streak when they came back home, beat Butler, DePaul, and Seton Hall in the 3-game homestand. So it's those 3 games through Xavier's game on Saturday. So a 9-game sample. And then I also wanted similar samples from the 2019-2020 team that won the conference championship and the Doug team 2013-2014. Just to compare and see how these teams are different. And the one statistic that I have circled on the graphic, if you're watching along in the stream, is the percentage of field goals made that are 2-point field goals.
Okay.
And the average over these last 9 games for the Jays has been 71%. 71% of their made field goals have been from 2. So let's look now to the 1920 team.
Okay.
And this is a 10-game sample, but
right now we're looking at a 9-game sample.
Right. The only reason I extended this one out is these are literally the last 10 games of the regular season.
Okay.
And of course, we didn't see any more games because of COVID.
Oh, did something happen?
Yeah, it was called COVID.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
What a wild time.
But if you look, the percentage of field goals made that were 2-point field goals is 62.
And that was compared to the one we just looked at,
which was 71.
Okay. So certainly seems like they're not living and dying by the 3.
Now the and I've got a single page that'll show all of this together. But so keep that in mind.
Okay.
So then now to Doug's team. This is a 9-game sample size
9 games
from the middle of February to the Big East tournament.
Oh, interesting numbers here.
All of these games, Creighton went 7-2 or 8-2, right?
So very similar.
So there's a couple of losses mixed in. They're all conference games, but it's just successful runs, comparable successful runs. So the Doug team that year, 62% in this 9-game sample, 62% of their made field goals were 2-point field goals. But check out the 3-point field goal shooting percentage, 45%. They were an elite 3-point shooting team.
Elite almost doesn't describe how good that is. 45% from 3.
And if you notice the 2 games they lost in the middle, they took a 2-game road trip to Xavier and Georgetown.
And those are
they went 10 of 34 and 10 of 29. Yeah, live by the 3, die by the 3.
Some of these 14 of 22 versus DePaul. 14 of 22.
That was at the Garden.
John, that'd be good if you were doing that on 2-point shots. And they did it from 3.
Yeah.
Like that's
at Marquette.
That's
at
Steph
Marquette,
Curry stuff.
At Marquette, they went 12 of 23.
I mean, just ridiculous.
So here's the one page. But if you notice, this year's team, 9% better, 9% more of their made field goals are 2-point field goals.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the percentage of shot attempts that are from 3, they're down.
So the hypothesis is correct.
The hypothesis is correct.
Yeah, and
they're taking. It's not that they haven't given up on the 3.
They're just not taking as many.
They're just not taking as many.
And they're really efficient too. Look at
they're very efficient.
So look at the first 2 columns. Percentage of made field goals that are 2, 71%. Percentage of shot attempts that are 2, 62%. So they're shooting. I mean, yeah, they're definitely shooting more 2s than they are for 3s, but they are making those at a very high percentage. Very high percentage.
At the end of the day, what did Bo Pelini tell the caller?
It's not about yards, ma'am. It's about points.
Check out the points.
Huh?
They are over this 9-game sample, they are averaging more points than the 19-20 team and the 13-14 team. 80.2 points. Just a little bit of a head, but still.
Yeah, it's
they're still scoring.
But there
at
are
a
more
very good
possessions
clip.
now in basketball versus then, right? Like the sport has
Well,
gotten.
They played a lot of. I mean, under this system,
I'm just saying, like in general, basketball has more possessions now
as a sport. But Creighton has always been a higher possession team.
But now their opponents probably have more possessions too. I'm not trying to poo-poo them.
Some of them,
yeah,
some of them. But like Saturday's game, for example, Mac had it at 68 possessions. The first game between Xavier and Creighton was 76.
Mm-hmm.
So they chopped the number of possessions. But the bottom line is this. They're letting it fly just a little bit less. Being just a and listen, the 3-point shot is still important because of the threat of it. Because if you don't have that threat, then there's no reason to guard it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, means you just pack the paint. Which we saw early in the season. St. Thomas did, and Nebraska did.
Mm-hmm.
They dared Creighton to shoot a lot of 3s. But now Creighton is finding ways to impact the game, get inside, and I think one of the key people in all of this, everyone likes to credit Ryan Kalkbrenner, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Jordan says, I would think having a reliable big man to get easy 2s would have a lot to do with it.
But it's not just him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just him. Matt DeMarinas of White and Blue looked at the same 9-game sample size, but then also compared it to the first 12. And these are of shots taken inside of 5 feet. So basically your shot's right there in the paint under the basket. And in the first 12 games, the 6-6 start, you had Kaluma took 56% of his shots inside of 5 feet. Or, I'm sorry, their field goal percentage, 56. Shireman, 53. Nemhard and Alexander, 50. But since Ryan Kalkbrenner returned, Kaluma's has jumped up 3%. Shireman's has jumped up 22%. He's changed. I mean, Shireman was the guy who was feeding the ball, taking 8-9 threes a game. Now you're seeing him make a conscious effort to dribble into the defense, pass out of it, or maybe go to the hoop. 22% more of his shots coming inside of 5 feet. Nemhard's has gone up nearly 10%. Alexander's has gone up nearly 15%. They're making a more conscious effort to work the ball inside, work inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, their 3-point field goal shooting percentage has gone up. Kaluma's has gone up 8%. Shireman's was already a respectable 38. Now it's 42 from the first 12 games to the last 9. Nemhard has gone up 12. And Trey Alexander has bumped up a couple of percentage points. So by being more efficient inside, they're now being more efficient outside. They're just not taking as many of those shots. And Xavier, the team that they just beat, they're one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country, yet they take fewer 3-point shot attempts than any other team in the Big East. They take them when they want them, not when they need them. And it's worked for them.
And hey, I think that's a good descriptor. Adam texts in, says this CU team plays defense Much better than prior CU teams, which is why they can be less reliant on the three-pointer than past CU teams. They used to have to outscore teams, not this year. So less reliant on having to be elite from three.
Right.
It does a lot. I mean, and it certainly fits with, some of the other stuff that we're looking at. I don't think that those teams,
Well,
they were so good at shooting, it didn't matter. But
to that point, Matt also tweeted out on Saturday, prior to Saturday, inside of 10 feet, Xavier was shooting 56%. In their win against UConn, who they beat on Wednesday night, they were 64% from inside of 10 feet. Against Creighton, 47%, which is still a decent number, but Creighton's defense was the difference. Jays have now held 6 of their 9.
Oh, nice.
Opponents since Christmas to 50% or less from 0 to 10 feet. A shot that is your highest percentage shot.
Mm-hmm.
And now 6 of their last 9 opponents have been held to under 50% from that mark. That's the defense that the texter quotes.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
It's Max said it himself. He said
Numbers.
it on our postgame show.
Nailed it.
Someone asked him, about, is this team get back to where they were when they were in Maui? Max said they're playing better than they were.
Yeah.
In
And
Maui.
that was quite the quote.
And they are.
And it's
because if
funny-
you remember back, the games in Maui, granted, the Texas Tech game was more of a slugfest because of the way Texas Tech plays. But Arkansas, old-fashioned shootout. Arizona, old-fashioned shootout.
Mm-hmm.
They're not playing those games right now.
No.
They're playing more defensive-minded games.
And man, like looking at all these numbers and seeing what they are from three, like it does lend a lot of credence to the whole soft rim stuff with Maui, with playing in that gym. Because they shot it so well.
They were some damn soft
They
rims.
shot it so well in that arena.
They were some soft rims. Though we had a moment because the one basket at one end broke during shoot around, and the rim was just like,
Yeah.
So they
Hey,
had
it
to-
allowed for people to enjoy the cheap beers.
Well, Saturday
I guess it
was
didn't delay.
Saturday wasn't. No, it didn't delay the game,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And there wasn't cheap beer. That was the other game.
Oh, that's right.
Wednesday was the cheap.
That's
beer.
right.
Wednesday
man.
was
Saturday
cheap
was the
beer.
pink out.
Pink out.
I'm just
You don't
mixing
want the
up
cheap beer and the pink out going together.
Yeah, that would have been a lot. I'm just because Mac mentioned he mentioned when we were talking to him the Bud Light zone, so I just crossed the wires.
I didn't realize in the moment we're rewatching the NFC Championship game, it was that dirty Jack Stoll who pushed the 49er into the punter and got the 49ers
Disgusting.
flagged.
By the way, speaking of the 49ers, you ready for this?
Good on you, Jack.
Schefter. Brock Purdy suffered a torn UCL that will sideline him 6 months.
That's Tommy John.
Months.
He is seeking a second medical opinion about whether he needs surgery. 49ers are
The
recommending
UCL
surgery.
is Tommy John.
Dude, 6 months. We'll have a question and content next hour about who will be the day one starter. It's nuts how fast that whole situation changed. Where for weeks it was like, of course it's going to be Purdy. We'll see how we answer when we discuss this next hour. Wow. So, we could have been in a world, now they got smoked, where Jimmy Garoppolo could have been the Super Bowl starter,
Oh, absolutely.
right?
I think
that
he
would have been very realistic.
I think he
Wow.
would have been.
How crazy is that?
I think he
And
would have been.
that's not even full circle because Trey Lance started game one, but almost feels full circle. Bummer. Man, I would have loved to see Jimmy G out for revenge against the Chiefs. That would have been a great game. Would have been awesome.
Hey, don't disrespect the Chiefs.
Yeah, don't disrespect the Chiefs.
Oh, my bad.
The
I would
hell?
have picked him to win by like 30. So I'm not disrespecting anybody. Mustache Adam Purdy with the torn UCL. He needs to figure out how to pass with that weak stuff. Throw some dirt on it and get back out there. Yeah, did you see that? There was a guy yesterday who was like, he's soft. Why is he out there on the field? He tore his UCL.
Yeah, that's,
Throw with the other arm.
Bro, hey, you know who does that?
Tommy
Nick
John
Tua.
surgery.
Yeah, I was going more for Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, well, yeah.
He did it one time against the Broncos. Remember that when he did that against the Broncos on that Monday night? Everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Was it a good throw or did
it got a first down? It was a third down play. I mean, he threw it. It was like a 4-yard pass, but it was like, what? Patrick Mahomes. It was his first year. It was like right as he was becoming a superstar.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, look at this guy. Throws with his left hand.
Best quarterback in the NFL.
Nick, you are correct. He is the best quarterback in the NFL.
I'm sorry. Did someone say Matthew Stafford?
Nobody said his name in what? How many months has he
Yeah,
been
it's
that
been a
now?
long time. We don't talk about Matthew Stafford. Nobody cares about him.
They should.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Except for the
winning
one
quarterback.
time when he used his mind powers to push the racist lady off of the.
Remember that time?
Remember that?
Remember that time before we knew she was racist?
Yeah, and we were like, "Oh, Matthew Stafford's horrible," and they were like, "Never mind, Matthew Stafford, good call. He knew what he was doing.
You damn right he knew what he was
could read
doing.
her mind.
He
Oh,
knew what
I
he
know
was
a
doing.
word she has said before.
Tough
Fall
look,
off.
Tough look for his wife, though. His wife helped her, didn't
Oh, that's right.
But she didn't know. They didn't know what she had been about. Ah, those were good times. Good times.
Hey, I'd take it. Right now, you give me that over this, sign me up.
Josh here
Last
for
year-
rerunning last year. You know, didn't
Run
I
it
say
back.
this in August? I said, Josh, maybe we should just cancel football this season and just enjoy.
John was right.
I was right.
You were right. Man, sometimes I just need to listen to you.
You need to
I
listen-
need to
you
respect my
elders.
Yeah, the
Thank
old
you.
ass elders. Zach says Tom Brady to the 49ers? Question mark. We'll see if his name comes up in content.
Yeah. God, the fact that at age going on 47, we could have a bidding war for Tom Brady between the Raiders.
No, 46. He'll be 46 next year.
I thought he's already 46 now.
No, well,
he just turned 46, didn't he?
Did he just have a birthday? Well, he's 45. He was 45 during the. No, it's August. He'll be 46 in August.
Smile, Tom.
Smile, Tom.
The fact that at age 46, we could have a bidding war for Tom Brady.
Are we sure it won't be Josh Johnson?
Nick, yes, that was. And look, I'm not trying to poo-poo on him.
He's
that
played
was,
for 14 different teams, you know.
Yeah, I know. That was among the worst quarterbacking I have ever seen in a professional football game.
And he's a fan of the Cowboys.
I watched them when they had Chad Hutchinson. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was bad.
I remember Steve Pallure.
Yeah, I don't remember Steve Pallure.
He wasn't good.
I watched old-ass
Gary
Vinny
Hogaboom.
Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah.
Drew Bledsoe.
It was-
they sucked for a few years.
bad.
Quincy Carter.
It was
Josh
bad.
Johnson, that was trash. That was and look, again, he didn't expect to go in there. That was some bad. He made Chuba look good. All right, maybe I shouldn't go that far.
Chuba.
Careful.
What is he listening? Chuba, are you out there?
I don't know.
He's probably hanging out with his brother.
Mitch Sherman will be joining us here a little bit later on.
Give him your ligament, Chuba. Here's my ligament. You can have it.
I don't need it.
Donate
What do they
your
do with
arm.
Tommy John again? They take a tendon, they move it somewhere. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Ouch. Ugh.
I don't like.
I don't want
like
to
the
ever
sound of
do that. Normal people don't have this injury, right? How would a
Well,
normal person get this injury?
Running.
Well, I mean,
actually,
pitchers.
marathons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I didn't
when
even bring it
I
up.
say it?
I didn't even bring it up.
Yeah. I think
How,
they take
how would
a,
how would I get Tom? How would I screw up my elbow?
well, throw a lot of pitches.
Thank God I don't do that.
Tennis will do it, right? Unironically,
Tennis elbow is tennis elbow.
Is that what tennis elbow is?
No,
Kinda like
no,
Tommy John.
tennis elbow is different, I believe.
Pickleball. You probably get it from pickleball.
Oh.
Yeah, UCL reconstruction surgery involves harvesting a tendon from
Harvest.
your own body or from a donor and attaching it to act as a new.
Chuba! Give him your tendon.
Then it's like you're winning Super Bowls because he's got your tendon.
There you go. Oh, that's true. You give him a ring. Well, they lost, so it doesn't really matter.
Do you think that
Next season.
Do you think that you know how you do the organ harvesting thing on your driver's license? Do you think
I
that,
do.
like former quarterbacks or pitchers who had really good arms?
Oh,
could-
good idea.
Tendon
Like could
harvesting.
Nolan Ryan donate his
Oh,
UCL?
That's a great idea. Hey, here's Peyton Manning's shoulder. You know.
Not his legs.
Yeah, definitely not his legs. By the way, Ric Flair, because Dan sends this to me. Thank you, Dan. Ric Flair tweeted at Brock Purdy yesterday
Oh,
at 4:03 p.m. I crashed in an airplane. Get in the game, WTF.
what?
I crashed in an airplane. Oh, he's saying, did he crash and then wrestle?
Yeah, he had
Uh-huh.
a famous airplane crash
Wow.
early in his
Rick,
career.
Jeez, bro.
He didn't wrestle right away after that. He had to recover after a lengthy convalescence. He was kind of screwed up.
Brian says being single for too long could cause you to blow out your elbow. Nick, how's your elbow doing? Or being married for a long time. John, how's your
Hey
elbow?
yo. I was trying to think of a response I could say at the radio.
It's all in the wrist.
And there you go. Levi adds, it's tendies. Come on, that's true. His tendy.
He needs a new tendy. Chuba, give Brock your tendy.
I feel like, you know what? And to go back to being serious for a moment, I feel like with Brock Purdy, we might suddenly be teetering on him being again, Mr. Irrelevant, where we're like, remember that one time where he was good for like 10 games and then he never did anything
Flash
in
in
the
the
NFL
pan.
again? Like now that he has an injury that's going to keep him sidelined for half of a year.
You know what it is? It could end up being.
Crazy. I was right about him.
It could end up being a Tim Tebow situation. Tebow was good for about 9 games.
9 games.
Now the difference was it was Tebow.
I feel like I heard about those 9 games forever.
And
Nick,
he was-
we're still talking about those 9
Exactly.
games. Yeah.
But I mean the actual career arc. Where it's like, hey, remember that 9-game run from Tim Tebow? Remember that 9-game run from Brock Purdy?
Like, wow, that was crazy. And it definitely shows. We always say about Shanahan, like he is about, winning without relying overly on the quarterback. And then yesterday happens and it's like, look, you can agree or disagree with the decision, but that's why they traded up for Trey Lance. They wanted him because they believed that he could be the difference maker. And for now, it hasn't looked very good. Go back to being beat writer John. Wow, the 49ers seem to be in a very conspicuous situation with this injury news.
10,200 plus days in camp.
Wow. So Dallas will hit 10K over the next.
Do you want to know? Because I looked this up.
Yeah, sure. What is it? 9,000 something? Well, what is the Niners?
Dallas will hit San Francisco is at like 10,270 something.
Oh, so Dallas will hit it in like 3 months.
Dallas will hit 10,000 days since winning their last Super Bowl on the day before the College World Series.
Wow, talk about my true hell.
What are you talking about? You got the week off.
That's not true. I do shows. Wow.
I may have to take a day off from my College World Series prep just to come back, do the program, and we can have the 10,000 day celebration.
All right, that sounds like a horrible.
We could pop some champagne.
That sounds like a horrible thing.
We could barbecue some stuff.
Wow.
Are we going to bring the grill back to the studio?
Have a hoedown.
Hoedown.
Well, that's what Cowboys do.
Hee-haw-haw.
We're going to invite
Jarrah.
Jarrah.
Time traveling Jarrah.
His glory hole.
Hey, did you hear that one time I almost told Tony Romo to say a word on TV?
We did get a text earlier. It was like, hey, how about Tony Romo almost saying the N-word yesterday? Like, oh!
Wait, what?
I don't think that's what he almost said.
No, I don't
I think
either.
He almost said Nickelback. But he stopped and
right.
Like, it was
right.
very. It's
You know
like,
what?
The way
All
I
right.
can we play it?
All right, we'll find.
I don't remember if there's any curse words in the video I sent you.
Well, no, because it's
no the people reacting.
No, I don't believe
to
so.
It. Okay,
I don't believe so.
All right.
Did Tony Romo?
It's so Nick, you're gonna hear. You're gonna be like, holy crap! Did he?
Was Tony Romo infiltrated by time traveling Jarrett Jones?
I was just watching. I was just over there watching.
It's gonna make me more anxious than that one time we had that Mickey Joseph audio.
Yes, I'm a voyeur.
Maybe time traveling Jerry was Tony Romo's spotter, and instead of pointing at the players, he.
Also, Tony, why is that on your charts? What are you doing?
No,
there, dude?
It's the charts that Jarrett made. He just,
hey, here
it was a flash card.
He slipped him out.
It was a flash card. All right, we'll make sense of this next on 1620 The Zone.
It's the 5K giveaway on 1620 The Zone. Enter to win a $5,000 shopping spree right now at 1620thezone.com. It's the 5K giveaway on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly clear into the evening with temperatures near 10, then clear to partly cloudy and cold again tonight, low down around 2. Partly to mostly sunny after a cold start Tuesday, and afternoon high around 27. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, looks like there's no major wrecks to avoid this afternoon. We are getting reports if you're east on L Street, you can see delays between the JFK and 13th Street. If you're west on Dodge, delays between 74th and 90th. And then it looks like there's delays on westbound 370 between the JFK and Golden Boulevard. And if you're east on 370, delays between 84th and 72nd. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by IBEW Local 22.
Looking for a career, not a job? IBEW has immediate openings for residential electricians. You'll receive top pay, fully funded family health care, and retirement benefits. Invest in yourself with IBEW Local 22. Call Michael at 402-810-0789.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your new home for Omaha Maverick hockey all season long. Don't miss a single puck drop, power play, barn burner, or any of the action this season. Your home for Maverick hockey, home and away, is News Talk 1290 Coil.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Guys, let's face it, there is a time when you just need to get out of the house, to have your own place, to be with the guys, or just a quiet, relaxing place for yourself. Well, Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge hears you loud and clear. Settle in. Escape to Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge for an incredible selection, plus premium cocktails, a knowledgeable, friendly staff, state-of-the-art humidor, and incredible lounge. Hearth Cigars and Pipes Lounge, just off I-680 at 48th Street, next to Covey's.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees. You're listening to Unsportsmanlike Conduct
Why am I kissing anyone's butt?
on 1620 The Zone.
All right, we won't be able to run the video quite yet because someone in the video said the word that
Yes, yeah, they said
was
the word
almost
that Tony
supposed
Romo
to be said. So
yeah.
we're
So we'll play it later. We'll play it later.
Yeah, we'll have it for you after the break. It's the editing is done. I'm just going to go through it one more time to make sure.
Yeah, because you only did like the first 5 seconds. We got to make sure the whole video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have that. We'll have that momentarily. All right, I do want to address this in all seriousness.
Patrick Mahomes being the best player in the NFL, and you saying that Burrow was maybe better.
Can we please stop with this nonsense that the Chiefs are being disrespected? I get it. They can feel that way about Cincinnati, and we'll have some audio of that. I don't know if did you see what the Cincinnati mayor did over the weekend?
No, I've heard about it. I haven't watched it though, but I know we're going to play it in content.
Yeah, we'll have it in content. I get that part, but this notion that everybody was disbelieving the Chiefs, give me a break.
I mean, to be fair to the Chiefs, which I can't believe I'm saying that, they were underdogs. But look, they were
underdogs for a couple of days.
And for a very specific
they were
reason.
underdogs for a couple of points. Oh my God, that's so disrespected.
John,
we're the 68 Jets. Get out of here.
Nick, they were a huge underdog in the Super Bowl and they beat the Colts.
Thanks.
We are almost 3 years removed from The Last Dance, watching The Last Dance.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. Dare I say, he is the greatest American athlete of all time. I mean,
He's in the
it's a very short list, and we all know the names. We don't have to talk about that. But
him, Muhammad Ali, Matthew Stafford.
Exactly.
Aaron Donald.
Not Josh Johnson.
Cooper Kupp.
Arnold. So he is the greatest ever. His profession. There are some people that say Michael Jordan played basketball. He was better at his profession than anyone was at their profession.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all of that kind of preamble aside, that guy made up fake quotes
all the time
to motivate himself. And it like, in one way, it shows like, wow, the best of the best are really a different breed. And on the other way, it shows, man, they are just so freaking petty, And that's what, look, I said it in the crossover. athletes are just like us. You know, they want to hop on Twitter and they want to brag.
Sure.
Travis Kelce doing what he did on television is like a fan hopping on Twitter and tweeting at you and saying, John, you're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And so they're all exactly like us. They're just great at everything they do on the football field or basketball court. So like on one hand, I'm like, yeah, of course, John, you're right. On the other, Tom Brady is still obsessed with being pick 199 and he's never going to forget about it.
I know, but there's just this general sense
it's silly.
that, I mean, and let's face it, if the Bengals had won and Burrow had led that last drive and gotten the touchdown or field
They
goal or
would have
whatever.
used some sort of motivation.
Well,
too.
but the conversation about Burrow maybe being the better quarterback would have been out there. I heard him talking about it on all of the shows this weekend, the studio shows.
If they win, he's going to have a chance. Yeah.
That's the way these things work, people. This is not unusual.
Is it unusual for us here locally because now we are, and we're not in Kansas City, but we're close enough.
We're bombarded by it.
And we're bombarded by it that we now, more than ever, it does seem personal where like the Brady-Manning debate, I always found fun, but that's just because I like the NFL and I'm far enough away where I can just talk about it with people.
Well, you see, we're close enough to be in on it and we're far enough away for enough people to be annoyed by it.
Yeah, because there are Chiefs fans up here.
If we're in Kansas City, the number of people annoyed by it are few and far between.
Very minuscule.
But the Chiefs are becoming a Dallas Cowboys-like team where you either love them or you hate them because of all the attention that they get.
Yeah.
And I totally understand that. I guarantee
Omaha's team, is that what you're going to say?
Well,
there's
enough people around here that are extremely passionate about it that it drives the conversation. Of course, we air the games here for good reason.
We talked to their play-by-play guy.
The games have been aired here in Omaha for many years
Mm-hmm.
because we're close enough we have season ticket holders that live here. We don't have season ticket holders for other teams here. We do, not many.
Yeah, and the Royals suck. No one cares.
But then the flip side of that is when they get a lot of the attention, back in the 70s and 80s, before Marty Schottenheimer showed up, people didn't give a crap around here. There were Chiefs fans around here, but no one talked about them because they were bad.
Yeah.
And most of the time they weren't on local TV.
Well, yeah. And so, John, on top of that, so now it's not just even that they're good. It's that they're good with a transcendent player.
Sure.
And so you have the usual Chiefs fans that are around here. Then you have, I would just say, general sports kind of bandwagon fan that's like, hey, they're good and they're close.
Yeah.
Like, I'll pay attention. But most importantly, and this is going to, the tail on this is going to be different, is you have all these young kids that, he is their
impressionable kids.
He is their Steph Curry. The way that Mahomes plays, he is football Steph Curry. And it does, Happer, screw you, because I made fun of the Royals. It does make it quite interesting where you can compliment them around here and people are like, stop talking about them. And then you can question them and you can get a bunch of Chiefs fans calling you an idiot.
Right.
It is very unique. And that's what, I feel like we are close enough to the eye of the storm where we're really catching a lot of shrapnel. And I don't say
it's like a nuclear bomb blast, right? We're catching all the radiation.
Yeah. And that's not
and for some people, the radiation turns you into Spider-Man. And for others, it turns you into a dead person.
That's true. People forget. So yeah, it is nuts how the disrespect card, it was played yesterday and it will get played by whichever teams wins the Super Bowl. They're going to say, oh, we were disrespected. Eagles, hey, we were disrespected all year. We had X amount of wins and everyone kept doubting us. Chiefs win, be the same thing. Oh, people kept doubting us.
And now for both sides, you're either going to love this or you're going to hate this. Here's how it sounded at the end of the game last night from our friend, Mitch Holtis.
And to have multiple laterals.
And then stay in your lane. There is the squib. It bounds in front of the receiver. Clock now. They're going to throw it across the formation, and it is caught over there now, slipping, and the Chiefs will tackle him. This game is over. This game is over. You can doubt the Chiefs. You can dislike the Chiefs. You can disrespect the Chiefs. You're going to have to deal with the Chiefs as the AFC champions. And for the third time in 4 years, Lamar Hunt Trophy, the trophy named after this franchise's founder, is back in Kansas City where it belongs.
Some people were like, yeah. and other
Disrespect him.
people were like,
Oh,
God.
Mitch.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Mitch Holtis on Wednesday.
Sam says Patriots with Brady did the same thing. New England versus everybody. Edelman yelling at Brady that everyone says he's too old. Yep. Again, it's just, I if they want to play this card, I find it cute and hilarious.
Yeah.
But it's also it's just incredibly rich. Like, guys, you have the best quarterback in the game. And I'm not even saying that in the fun, trolly, jokey way of earlier. You have the best player in the NFL. You guys are going to be like, they're going to have to invent ways to deal with this every year.
Sure.
Because they're not really going to have a whole lot of doubters. People
And listen, it made sense, even if not to doubt Mahomes for Mahomes' sake, to doubt him because he was hurt. And you were wondering, how is this guy who has made his living being able to be shifty and crafty with his feet and move around and throw on the run and do all these creative things, how is he going to do this without that part of his game? So it was natural to think, he's going to be limited somewhat.
Yeah.
But then there was something, I can't remember who quoted this or who, but that Mahomes in the pocket,
he's still better than everybody else.
Better than Mahomes on the run.
He's
because you have to rein it in just a little bit, and you got to be a little bit smarter. Because sometimes,
it was in Peter King's column where
right,
more time, he's actually worse, which is
right.
weird. He's better when he has to make quicker decisions,
right?
Which he was making quicker decisions.
But that, it's just sometimes by reining it in, you become a better player. Now that said, once he's back to full health,
folks,
they're not going to. I mean, they're going to go back. He's going to go back to being
but that'll
what he is.
That'll be next season.
But, and this will happen as he gets older. He's not going to be able to do those things with his feet like he used to, and he will have to change as a quarterback. And based on what he did last night, we got a glimpse into 5-6 years into Patrick Mahomes' future when he doesn't have those wheels,
and
when he can't make those plays.
And he's
with
still
his feet.
awesome. Shane says, I hate the Chiefs, but their fans have become unbearable as they win one Super Bowl in 40 years, and now they think they're the Patriots. Money Chris says, I didn't used to care, but yep, I now hate the Chiefs.
You either love them or you hate them.
Man, that's crazy.
Omaha's team.
Omaha scheme.
The Chiefs is still pretty good.
That was back when they were not great.
Yeah, they were on TV every Sunday.
It drove me crazy because their games would be on television when we could have been watching better games.
That did.
Oh, but no, there's all these Chiefs.
They did suck because they were like, there was one year where they were like 2-14, and still every week we had to watch.
Not good.
Nick, they took up one of the valuable spaces.
Yeah.
Trent texts in, they are the GD betting line favorites to win the Super Bowl next year already. Get out of here with this underdog bleep.
Well, they're underdogs right now. To the
They
Eagles.
are. I couldn't believe when the first line came out, they were favorites.
FanDuel, get on your knees. You are disrespecting the Chiefs.
Promo code 1620.
But remember promo code 1620.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So did Tony Romo say it? Or did he try? Did he try?
Did he almost say
did
it,
he
John?
Try to,
did he almost
say it?
Almost say it.
Next on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Sports Update. Creighton women's basketball is back at DJ Sokol Arena on Wednesday as they host DePaul on National Girls and Women's in Sports Day. Tip-off is set for 6 p.m. Limited tickets are available online at gocreighton.com/tickets. That's Creighton versus DePaul on Wednesday at 6 p.m. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
It's your time for higher education, not higher debt. And it all starts with a scholarship application to Metropolitan Community College. Every year, MCC awards more than $3 million in scholarships to students. In less than 5 minutes with a single application, you can apply for all the scholarships available to you. It's your time to path forward. Let MCC show you the way. Register today. Classes start March 9th. Apply today at mccneb.edu/scholarships.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Barry Law. We're in it to win it. Like so many other college athletes, Creighton guard Rachel Saunders had a choice. She could use her extra COVID year or decide to leave. Her choice was to stay.
The biggest factor for me was I do love my teammates. I wasn't ready to not be with them every day. I didn't want to look back and say I wish I would have stayed. It felt like the right decision for me, and I was able to continue my academics and stay here on campus. So it really was a win-win.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured in an accident, call Berry Law today. 402-999-7777.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
It's coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching your kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep your operation running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, Maria in Miami, and Jules in Troy, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with high-quality supplies for every industry, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Welcome back. Unsportsmanlike Conduct on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com, and the Zone mobile app. Brought to you in part by Union Bank and Trust. John, Josh, and Nick. Still to come, Mitch Sherman will join us a little bit later today than usual. He's been working on some things.
Yeah, there are pressers today.
Yeah, Ed Foley and Terrence Knighton spoke today. By the way, we found out the genesis of the nickname Pot Roast. Here I thought it had something to do with, just him being a big-bodied guy, and big-bodied people like to eat good food, and pot roast is good food, unless you're Josh.
Don't want it.
Bad take.
Terrence Knighton says he was dubbed pot roast by a former Jacksonville teammate after Knighton ordered pot roast on a flight back to Florida from Seattle after a game during his rookie season. I'm still pot roast now. I enjoy it.
Wow, that is a very old school nickname. Like, hey, I saw John Bishop eating tomatoes one time, so I call him Tomato John. Like,
Tomato
what?
John.
Like, okay,
Hey, pot roast. What's up?
Well, it's like, you know what that is? It's Andy on The Office.
It
tuna.
is. It
That's
is.
big tuna
Big
energy.
tuna.
Hey, you ate tuna one time. I'm going to call you tuna. Pot roast is a fairly normal meal.
Yeah, but not usually on a plane.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat.
You don't think about it. It's like you don't think about ordering pot roast in a restaurant, but it's something that you would have for Sunday dinner or something.
Right.
Yeah, definitely not on a plane.
It's like a church potluck thing or a home crock pot thing.
Definitely. Yeah, not a, hey, I'm flying to Chicago.
But it's
delicious.
Not on an airplane.
Airplane
it's
pot roast
delicious
probably
anywhere.
That sounds like a fantasy football team name. Airplane pot roast.
Kind of does.
Well, that's how he got
Maybe
his
that'll
name,
be my
pot
team
roast.
next year.
So
RIP the 69th and Cummings.
So we'll find out from Mitch how the rest
the
of
call?
the press conference went a little bit later on.
All right. But now
I remember
get to it.
I remember the play, but for some reason I don't remember.
Now this is
moment.
the edited version, right?
Yes, this is edited.
Whew, I'm a little nervous.
Now the audio off the TV is being shot off of a camera, so it's a group of folks watching the game.
The main guy in this video, he is from The Ringer. I believe this is a bunch of people from The Ringer, but I know the main guy, his name's Van Lathan. He works for The Ringer. He used to
Okay.
work for TMZ.
Oh, well, that explains everything. So you may have to listen a little bit carefully. We may play it a couple of times, but Tony Romo is describing a play where I think it's Pacheco catches a little screen pass, and 3 Bengals are closing in on him, and he's just describing the replay. Here it is.
All right, let's be fair to Tony Romo. Let's be fair.
Right. The extra yards, the tough yards, the finish on the play. Right there, you got 3 in the...
Here it is one more time if you missed it.
All right, let's be fair to Tony Romo. Let's be fair.
Right. The extra yards, the tough yards, the finish on the play. Right there, you got 3 in the...
He caught himself.
He did. What do you think he was going to say?
Good job.
So I saw some
I don't
people
know.
theorize that he was accidentally going to say, and we see slip-ups like this all the time. He was actually going to say Niners. And he realized this isn't the Niners. This is the Bengals
Niners.
and the Chiefs.
Yeah, but
maybe
it's
Nickelbacks.
a different I sound.
I mean, all we really heard was the N.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad. I feel bad for Romo because I don't.
It's not great.
I don't think that's what he was trying to do.
No.
John, of course not. Obviously. But it's funny. It's so weird.
But now people catch up on it and blows up into something else.
Uh-huh.
And now we've played it. Now I'm guilty.
Is Romo going to have to release a statement about this?
No, everything is fine.
I hope so, but
Oh,
you never know these days. People get
John,
triggered over the
would you
littlest things.
stop? Then why did you play it?
Because
He
you wanted
wasn't-
me to.
You were the one who wanted to play it. I didn't think
wanna
we were
play it.
going to today. He wasn't going to
I didn't
say
think
it.
so either.
He's not going to apologize. He didn't say anything.
But now people are
See?
wondering what's in his head.
Maybe he's
But-
thinking about the Niners.
Now, I'll say this. As much crap as we gave him for the Buffalo game, I thought he was better yesterday.
Yeah, not by much. That broadcast is so weird because they just want Gene's opinion on everything. Hey, Gene, could you get
Well,
us a-
I mean, they did have a lot
But
of
John,
different
they'll
places.
sometimes do it like, hey, the clock is stopped. Gene, what's up with the clock? And it's like,
Well, that is a referee's prerogative.
Yes, John, you know rules, though, when you call a game. You can... I think that...
Yeah, but you got a rules expert in there.
Bring them for actual things, not...
Well, that's what
Hey,
what
so
the
you
clock
gotta-
malfunction was about.
You
They
got to
needed
get
that
a couple...
explanation.
No, not that. There's like other stuff where they were bringing him in on just the most basic opinions. It's like, what? I don't know. I don't know. The
You're
Fox-
still triggered because he was the one that overturned the Dez catch.
Oh, was that Gene?
That was Gene.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
That was Gene.
Wow. Just another stab to the heart.
Gene Steratore, American hero.
Man, been a rough go.
Yeah. I thought he was better. It wasn't as glaringly annoying. Now, there were still times where he starts guessing himself in the middle of a sentence. But when he's focused on the game and should they do this? Should they do that? That's where he's good.
Yeah.
He just needs to stay in that lane.
Yeah.
Stay in that lane. But we won't get him for the Super Bowl.
No, we will not. We'll get Burkhardt and Olsen.
Yes, we will.
Darn.
We'll get Greg Olsen, who I think is doing a fine job.
I think Greg is doing a tremendous job. Tremendous job in every respect.
And listen, I said this when they hired him, or not hired him, but hired Brady. I don't think Brady's going to be good. If he ever gets in the booth, I don't think he's going to be good. I don't think he's got the personality for it.
Yeah, but we didn't think Romo had the personality either. He never showed any of this when he was the quarterback for the Cowboys.
Yeah, but now Romo's starting to get worse.
That's true, Nick, but early on he was good. You loved him early on.
That's just my prediction. Sometimes great players don't make great analysts.
Oh, I agree.
Just like they don't make great coaches.
You guys were talking about it with Romo
Sometimes.
last week, though, because Romo was still recently removed from
See,
playing. But
that's the
as it's
thing.
gone on, he doesn't know what's happening.
From what I understand, he does not prep as hard as he used to.
No.
See,
That's always-
that's the issue.
That's always
And see,
the
that's
problem.
where, look, do I think Brady will be personable? Probably not. The one thing, though, that he will do for sure is he'll work hard because he always works hard.
He does like
Well,
football.
he works hard at football, but will he work hard at broadcast?
John, he works hard at being a weirdo, too. Like, that guy is a hard worker.
Let me kiss
I
my
think he's
kids.
naturally.
Yeah, he's a hardworking kid kisser.
He's a natural weirdo.
Yeah, but he works hard at it, though.
If I'm Fox, I'd put him on the B team. They leave Greg Olson alone.
I would too, but
they won't
because they're paying him $37 million a year.
Yep.
Make Brady start
just,
in the college circuit.
They just want the
put him on ESPN Plus.
They want the idea that we have Tom Brady.
Exactly.
Just like NBC did once upon a time with Joe Montana. And
He
that
sucked.
did not go well.
I like the idea of Tom Brady calling FCS games exclusively.
Maybe he'll call a Nebraska game.
Highly unlikely.
Probably.
Unless Nebraska moves up to the NFL. Which is also highly unlikely.
That's true.
Though happy hour is coming up next. Right here on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone. 1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, looks like a stall still has the right shoulder blocked on westbound I-80 just before the 24th Street exit over in Counts Bluffs. Also stop-and-go traffic if you're west on Q Street between Millard Ave and 144th. Otherwise, stop-and-go traffic on southbound 72nd between I-80 and F Street. If you're west on Dodge, delays between 680 and 120th. And then if you're east on L Street, you can see delays between 36th and 24th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Fernando's Omaha.
Thank you, Omaha. It's triple first-place wins for Fernando's. Fernando's is honored and grateful to you for voting them the best Mexican restaurant in the Best of Omaha and Omaha Choice Awards and Best Margarita in the Omaha Choice Awards. Fernando's, family-owned and community-served.
Tell us how you feel on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Reach Gary, Nick, Connor, Josh, and John anytime on the J-Tech Construction and Solar Zone Twitter feed. Contact the official exterior and solar experts of the Huskers. J-Tech Construction at yourexteriorexperts.com.
It's the lowest month-to-month rate of the year with no contract and no enrollment fees at Genesis Health Clubs. It won't get any lower than this, and enrollment fees are waived to celebrate 2023. Hurry, just one day left. Hi, I'm Rodney Steven. It's the new year, and you have set your New Year's resolutions, right? Well, it's time to go. I have good news and bad news for you. The bad news is, if you don't get started, your New Year's resolutions won't happen, and you'll be in the same place next year. You have to take that first step and build habits that will change your life forever. One of my favorite quotes is, if it is to be, it is up to me. And that is absolutely true. And we know you can do it. We'll help you every step of the way. We help hundreds of thousands of people reach their fitness goals each year. And what about you this year? Join Genesis Health Clubs for our lowest month-to-month rate that we'll offer in all of 2023. Plus, no enrollment fees and no contracts. One day left. It will not get any better than this. Join at GenesisHealthClubs.com now because this special won't last. Hurry, just one day left.
Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone.
The head Maverick, Chris Crutchfield, is going to join us.
I was so happy with those guys because they hadn't won a road game in almost 2 years. I'm proud of what our guys did. We continued to fight throughout the game. It was a two-possession game, and that's the biggest thing with our guys right now, just continue to compete.
Catch After Hours 6 to 8, Monday through Friday, or as the sports schedule allows. Brought to you by Payne West on 1620 The Zone.
So, how are the kids?
Well, Emily made the honor roll.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah, we're really proud of her. Tyler, on the other hand, though.
What's going on?
He's been moody lately, just feeling down and not like himself.
Oh, we've been there. Nick was struggling last spring. He was so anxious and stressed.
Really? What helped?
Well, he joined the soccer team. And ever since, he's been a lot happier. He has more energy, he's less stressed, and he's definitely in a better mood at home. It's made a huge difference.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad he's getting out of the house, he's getting some exercise, and he's off his phone for once. It's been good for his mental health.
Sounds like it's been good for your mental health, too.
Participating in Nebraska high school sports improves students' physical and mental health. Encourage your son or daughter to get involved. This message presented by the NSAA and the Nebraska State Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Tickets for less. Best seats, best prices, no per-ticket fees. Ticketsforless.com. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
Throw. It would be nice to have a 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 throw from your mom.
The happy hour is on the air. How wonderful is it? The sun is out.
Do.
Still cold out there. Yeah. But we're here. You're here.
The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
People forget.
The Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
Don't
But we have to wait.
Go
We have to
Chiefs!
wait 2 weeks for it. Which means we also have to wait through all of the silliness and the nonsense that is the Super Bowl week.
Oh, they're going to talk about the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, the Pro Bowl's coming up. Flag football, that's a thing.
Not.
God, I'm getting so sad. This all sucks.
That's not.
I'm already sad the football's ending. Now I don't want to watch the Super Bowl. The
They
Pro
won't
Bowl's coming up.
They won't even let Tua do the Pro Bowl, by the way.
Yeah, because he has like 8 concussions, Nick. Yeah.
He has 8 concussions. Well, he did have a lot of
Spot to lie.
We did ask you a question today on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter page. 2 of them. We should update them both. With 2 weeks for our last meaningful football game, which storyline will be most annoying between now and Super Bowl 57? Officiating talk, the Andy Reid Bowl, the KC/Mahomes disrespect, or the battle of the Kelce brothers?
I actually think the second and fourth ones are actually pretty cool.
Right,
Andy
but you know they'll
I know.
beat it into the ground.
See, here's the thing. Don't watch those shows. There you go. That fixes the problem for you. Even though I know that I do a 4-hour daily show. I think the Andy Reid story is like incredibly cool. That guy was super successful, but he never won the big one. He went to 5 NFC Championship games, including 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Only went to 1 Super Bowl, and didn't.
And then
win
it just ran out.
And dude, at the end of his tenure, I thought he made a mistake by going to Kansas City as fast as he did. His son had just died. His son had overdosed. I thought this guy needs to take a step away and then come back into football. Said he went to Kansas City, immediately turned him around, and now is on the precipice of a second Super Bowl.
Well, you'll be happy to know that's last.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I think the Kelce brothers story is also cool. I can't.
But that one will get annoying because again, Jason Kelce, if you're a Chiefs fan, you love him. If you're not a Chiefs fan,
Travis.
you hate him, or Travis.
Yeah.
And Jason could be the same thing. I'm sure non-Eagles
He's really
fans.
good. It sucks. He's really good.
But the 2 that are easily outpacing the field.
And these are because these are the 2 more annoying ones.
Officiating talk, 37.6% of the vote. The KC/Mahomes disrespect, 34%.
Yeah, both of those suck. I hate talking about referees. I hate talking about the NFL being rigged. The idea of the NFL being rigged. Because if it was, the Cowboys definitely would have made it back at some point in time. Right? Folks? Right?
Probably.
Right?
Probably.
And the disrespect stuff is just stupid. But, I think we did a good job of explaining why it exists. Because they're professional athletes.
Sure.
They're professional athletes. They were the favorites in the game, and they felt like they were disrespected. Like, I don't know what do you do with that?
Yep.
The other poll question: with a change in philosophy plus early wins over Creighton and Iowa, has Fred Hoiberg shown enough to warrant another year as Nebraska's head coach? This
was requested by Jack Mitchell, by the way.
3 options: yes, no, or ask me in March. Do you have a guess on which way this poll is going to lean? Have you seen which way it's leaning yet?
No.
Okay. You have to guess. Which way would you guess that the majority of the voters are in?
Now, I always have to factor in with some of our polls. You have the trolls out there.
Are you talking about the Blue Jay fans that are like, yeah, bring them back?
So you might have a lot of
Fred
Blue Jay
Hoiberg,
fans.
woo!
Could have some Iowa folks. I'm going to say that the lead is bring him back, or was it yes?
Yes, yeah.
With 45% of the vote.
You are correct. 61% of the vote.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Blew my
stronger
mind.
than I thought.
No had 18.4. Yes, had 61.4, by the way. No, 18.4. Ask me in March. So undecided voters, only 20.2% of the vote. So you could throw all the undecided voters into the no bucket,
and it still won't matter.
And it'd still be 38.6%.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That very much surprises me. There was a response from Husker Follower. Says, and I think this explains Nebraska basketball fandom pretty well. Keep him. Why not? It is Nebraska basketball. If he happens, sorry, shouldn't have said that while you were drinking your Mountain Dew, Diet Mountain Dew. If he happens to turn around next year, that's fine. But when it comes to Husker hoops, the who you going to get discussion is legitimate. Now, look, totally understand that entire viewpoint. My response would be they can find someone who could clear the low bar of his number of wins in 4 years.
You're telling me that Nebraska is this special case that doesn't exist anywhere else in the power conferences of college basketball. It is the only school that can't find a coach that can't make them a program that can win an NCAA tournament game. You're telling me that Nebraska is different from all other power conference sports, the DePauls, the Vanderbilts, the Boston colleges, the Northwesterns. They're so different. No. All of those other
Creighton
programs,
football.
they can win. They can have a good coach and win a tournament game.
You know what
but
I think
Nebraska,
it is?
Nope, that can't be done.
You know what I think it is, and I don't want to put words in Husker
Wow.
followers' mouth. But when it comes to the Husker hoops, who are you going to get discussion is legitimate. I wonder if he means, and when people say that, they mean, who are you going to get that is on name recognition better or more well-known or more accomplished than Hoiberg? And if that's like your argument, you are correct. They will not fire him and hire a coach that is better on resume than Fred Hoiberg. But his previous resume don't matter anymore. So that's why I always say you can find someone that can match his production. It shouldn't be that hard to be able to outrank what he has done over 4 years. Now, finding a coach that went to the Sweet 16 with an Iowa State equivalent, they're not going to be able to find that guy. I will agree with you there. But that's not what they should be looking
I
for,
hate
though,
that.
John.
Who you going to get argument?
Again, it's about
who you going to get argument works if you're looking for Chippendales dancers in a convent. Okay? Who you going to get? Oh, we've lost our Chippendale. Who are we going to get? Well, there's no one here. I hate that argument.
Yeah.
That is such a defeatist mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Who you going to get? I don't know. Get on the phone. Start calling some folks. You got a big checkbook. You bothered to put all this money in. You built a new practice facility for them a few years ago. They're in a new arena, newish arena. Who you going to get? Get out of here.
Yeah, silly.
Defeatist attitude. Well, speaking of not defeatist attitudes, Matt Rule was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast that features former Husker Will Compton last week.
Mm-hmm. Taylor Lewan.
And had this to say about the rebuilding process and about how quickly to expect wins. He said, I don't want this to be a slow burn because I feel like that year for them was last year. What I respected about Nebraska was the players had just lost their coach. They'd gone through tough losses, and they just kept battling. If you go to Iowa, the last game of the year, when Iowa has to win it to win the Big Ten West, and you beat them, there's something in that locker room.
So he looks at your opinion and spits on it.
I don't think he looks at
You
my
and your
opinion.
4.1 wins prediction.
I don't think he looks at my opinion and spits on it, but I think he looks at that locker room. And this is a very shrewd way of saying this is a good locker room. There's good people in this locker room. There's a good foundation that I can work with in this locker room. And it's one of the things that a lot of first-time or year one coaches make the mistake, and that is turning the culture into a us versus them. My guys versus the guys I inherited. Once you become the new head coach, whether you recruited those players, signed those players, or not, they instantly become your players. And the better that you can, that doesn't mean you have to keep everybody. I mean, certainly if you inherited a locker room where you had guys with a bad work ethic, sure, you run some of those guys out, but you don't start with that mindset of, well, these aren't my guys, so I can't win with them.
Look, you and I,
you can't do that, because if you do, you're begging for trouble.
You and I have the same opinion in regards to Urban Meyer as each other. One of the smartest things, though, that he ever said was that idea of the old coach's guys versus his guys. And when he took over Ohio State, he said, no, these are all my guys. And we see coaches, and obviously Frost handled it poorly. We see coaches who won't emphasize that it's not that you are the Mike Riley players. And I'd say even Mike Riley was guilty of it, that those were the Bo Pelini players. Once we get our dudes in here. But if you approach everyone as we're all in this together and you are my players, I inherited you, yes, but you are my players. It's just like a boss coming into a business and not viewing his employees, his new employees as, well, those are the old employees. I need to bring in my employees. You know, no one wants to be on the other end of that. They don't want to be the employee. They don't want to be the player where they feel lesser than, or they don't feel a part of it. You know, it's one thing to, hey, we're always recruiting. We're always trying to bring in guys for competition. Even the idea of being recruited over, like, I think that's one thing. But if it's, we're bringing in these players because we want to replace you because you are not one of us, that is when you can really have some disconnect. And I think that this was a kind of a shrewd way of putting a little expectation on next year, but not too much, you know? And you know what it really did? It complimented them in the process.
Sure.
They went through it last year. They did a good job of handling it last year, yada, yada, yada. I thought it was a shrewd maneuver from the new head coach.
And sure, does it lend itself back to last week's conversation of how you describe the level of work? Brian writes into the Equitable Bank inbox, regarding the words we choose to describe Nebraska football, it's all silly because no matter what we label what's happening in Lincoln, it won't impact the play on the field next year or what happens in those buildings. But if you wanted to market this whole thing positively, I think you would use the word refresh.
The positive boys.
If we get a bunch of transfers out in late April, we could also call it a spring cleaning. TBD on that. Scott Docterman of The Athletic, who we had on last week, wishes Iowa's offense could start from scratch. I don't care how many quarterback transfers they get. They need someone to throw the ball to and a different person calling plays and significantly improved line play. That's from Brian.
It's a good point. You know, in the end, they'll get to the season and rebuild, reload, retool. That none of that's going to matter. Spring cleaning.
But it's just,
repair,
it's a way. It's
repair. Nice, Nick. That was one we didn't say last week.
It's really a way of gauging what people are expecting. And again, I'm not going to expect a lot because I just don't think it's wise, and it's so unpredictable. Whether new coach or not, with all of the changes and, you know, the roster turnover, they're going to have to dump 20 guys off scholarship.
Or they're going to have to, dump them off, but maybe just pay them NIL, and then they'll, oh, hey, look, college is free.
Yeah, but I've got to imagine they're
going to move on from guys.
They will move on.
Again,
from
how many defensive backs are there? Like 100? There's 6 quarterbacks.
I think we counted, what is it, 22?
Yeah, there's a lot. They're going to
22 defensive backs.
They will definitely move on from some stuff. Definitely.
I mean, there's still a lot of changes coming to that roster. Now, you know, is the lion's share of the players who will be on the field impacting next season already here? Yes. Virtually all of them here. I don't think there's going to be another pickup between now and August that is going to impact this year's team. Now watch. They'll go out.
Well, yeah, unless they get another lineman. Yeah, if they get another lineman.
Land a couple of transfers in the second window in May, but chances are they won't. The odds say they won't. So, and now we run into a rather interesting time because there's no more recruiting. Dead period's on.
Yeah, signing day's Wednesday.
It's all about winter conditioning now. And I'll be fascinated to see how this coaching staff, who through the first 2 months-ish on the job, who has been very open about where they've been going, what they've been doing, how much effort they're putting into this, how do they keep that going through a time now where it's literally about lifting weights and, you know, all of those things.
Basically, where you're saying the kind of brand awareness of the travel is going to be gone.
Yes.
Because they won't be recruiting.
Unless Ed Foley decides, you know, he's just going to, you know, randomly just travel around and
hit up some breweries
and visit some breweries or some convenience stores in other towns. But for the most part, now it's about actually working on the team that you have, not about the team you want to have in the future. There's a lot of things to be done. And how they go about doing it. Of course, we remember 5 years ago, what came out of winter conditioning?
Rhabdo. Guys were peeing blood. God, it's crazy.
How does that all work around it? I wonder if we're going to have conversations again about, well, are they going to list the performance numbers?
Probably. That's a very
They could.
spring topic.
They could.
Well, the thing, too, that came out of that time was by the end of spring ball, a lot of people were in the Adrian Martinez camp.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's the starter. And those people were right. Will people be in that, band? Will they be on a Sims bandwagon, or will it still be up in the air by the time spring football finishes 3 months from now? 3 months from now, spring ball will be done. I wonder what the opinion will be on the quarterback room. I wonder what the opinion will be on the transfer portal that is about to approach. Hey, they need to go after this position. That position really needs to be shored up.
Yeah.
What position will that be? I tend to lean, line, both lines, trying to fortify those rooms. Otherwise, I think they're going to be kind of set at the other spots. So that's something to look out for as well.
And with the recruiting stuff now being on hold or in dead period, when are we going to get updates on Dylan Rayola?
See, now every day, basically. That's the one. That's the one we're going to be waiting for, I think, the most. And I think that you want to talk about a way to shape the offseason. You get a commitment from him. And if it happens apparently in March, which it might, or the commitment, he might commit to a school in March. I mean, you want to talk about kind of a shot across the bow from this place. I mean, we haven't seen that before. We've seen them land good players. We've seen them land 5 stars. It's been a while. We've never seen them land, at least in the internet recruiting era, the literal best player in the class. That is a quarterback as well.
Did you see, though, there is a player in this game that could be a pretty big rival? Lincoln Riley. Rayola told On3, that'd be Dylan Rayola, the quarterback.
Yeah.
Said, quote, he only recruits one quarterback, and I think that's special because pretty much every other place doesn't do that. Him recruiting one quarterback shows a lot and how much of a priority I am to him and all of the USC football program. I wonder what I'm assuming he's been promised by Matt Rule and Coach Satterfield.
Nice.
That they're only going to take one.
Well, I mean, wasn't that the story, with Ohio State?
That was the story.
That
they were only going to take one, and then they took another, or at least were in on taking another, and then he said, nope, I'm out.
And by the way, I don't remember how much we talked about it on Friday, but basically the entire coaching staff, they went and visited him, him and his family. And Dominic, he told 24/7 Sports it was awesome. They're on a mission. They handle themselves as an elite top-tier university, and that makes me proud. That's where I went. I went to an elite top-tier university. It's a proud feeling, And then Dylan said, I think all 9 coaches from the offensive and defensive side of the ball, that means a lot to me and my family. Very grateful they did that. No other school has done that before. I'm just very grateful Nebraska views me and my family like that, and I'm very blessed.
Then you got Georgia out there. I mean,
Georgia's out there.
The best program going right now.
And then Oregon.
And Oregon.
And Oregon.
Yeah, I would say Oregon. Now, I have no idea what Oregon's pitch is, but I would guess that
their fancy uniforms, maybe. Hey, come wear a fancy uniform.
Hey, Dylan, do you have attention deficit to this order? Do you think you have to have a different uniform for every play?
John, come on.
Oregon would seem to be the long shot in this group, in my opinion. I mean, you understand why USC, you understand why Georgia, and you understand why Nebraska.
Taylor says, Rayola keeps saying nice things about everyone recruiting him. He is very good at that.
Well, that's what you have to do.
He is a quarterback that is ranked number 1 in terms of these responses. Because you read that one, and I feel like I've heard him say the same thing about Ohio State.
Yeah.
I'm the only one they want. Yeah, duh. You're the number 1 player in the country. I'd only recruit you too until you're telling me no. Why make it harder on myself?
Coming up next, Mitch Sherman will find out what he had learned today from pot roast And from Ed Foley. Boy, you're going to have to be careful calling Terrence Knighton pot roast around Ed Foley. Ed Foley might try to eat him.
Only on a flight.
Only on a flight.
I mean, as much as Ed Foley's been truer in the state, eating everything out there, it's like, I bet the one thing he hasn't had yet is a good pot roast.
That's true.
Walk by the door.
Because there is no such thing as a good pot roast.
There is too.
Bad
you just never,
take.
you just don't know. He walks by the door and he sees the nameplate on the door and it says pot roast. Pot roast? I heard there's pot roast in here. No, coach, it's just me. Ah, damn.
Sick of all the food nicknames because then everyone wants to know about the food nickname. No more food nicknames.
What, you don't like food?
No, I just don't like it. Because remember the whole snacks thing that took over? Oh, why do they call you snacks? Then you had to tell a story 800 times.
Well, I told the story. Now we know the story. Now we don't have to worry about the
People are still
story.
going to ask him.
No, they're not going to ask him.
He had pot roast on an airplane.
Yeah, he had pot
Weird,
roast on an
but
airplane.
I remember we had
I
on
hope they all have nicknames
that are not food related. Good take.
I hope we call Matt Rule Captain Crunch.
Why?
He was eating Captain Crunch.
Because he likes Captain Crunch. Actually, that would work better for
Tiny Baby Boy.
Rob Dvorak. Captain Crunch. We're giving everybody a food nickname. Rob Dvorak, Captain Crunch, because linebackers need to crunch.
Can we call Matt Rule Popeye's Chicken because he's good?
That's not
No. We're not calling.
It's not cereal.
You know why? You know why we're not going to call Matt Rule Popeye's Chicken?
Why?
Because then it will be a long rebuild because it's going to take a while to get there.
Tiny Baby Boy has to be Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll?
Oh, that's a terrible nickname.
Yeah, but you
Because
think
Tootsie Roll is terrible.
You think he's a terrible coach?
I don't think he's a terrible coach. He's just young.
When was the last
Veal.
time you ate a
He's
Tootsie
Veal.
Roll? Veal.
He's Veal.
Okay, that's pretty fun.
He's Veal. All right, we're going to work on the rest of these.
Perfect.
But
real
coming up
quick.
next, Mick Sherman.
Yeah, Eric says your pot roast take is truly sad, and then Trent says solid take. Pot roast sucks.
That's because you ain't had good pot roast, man.
Stop texting our line.
I would never do such a thing, Nick.
Mitch Sherman will join us next on 1620 The Zone.
It's the 5K giveaway on 1620 The Zone. Enter to win a $5,000 shopping spree right now at 1620thezone.com. It's the 5K giveaway on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly clear into the evening with temperatures near 10, then clear to partly cloudy and cold again tonight, low down around 2. Partly to mostly sunny after a cold start Tuesday, and afternoon high around 27. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV News Watch 7.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct, brought to you by a great friend of the program, Union Bank and Trust.
1620 The Zone. Traffic.
From the time-saving traffic center, looks like there's currently no major wrecks to slow you down on the drive home. We are getting reports, though, of some delays if you're west on I-80 between L Street and Giles. Also, a little bit of a delay on westbound I-80 between 50th and 72nd. If you're west on Dodge, delays between 680 and 120th. Southbound commuters on 72nd could see delays between I-80 and L Street. And then if you're west on Q Street, some delays between Millard Ave and 165th. I'm Mike Neville. This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Lawrence and Gardens.
The latest exhibit at Lawrence Gardens is making a big splash. Don't miss the fantastic sculptures of Washed Ashore, Art to Save the Seas, on display through May 14th. To plan your family's art adventure, visit lawrencegardens.org.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duck Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
Creighton coverage on The Zone is presented by Berry Law. At Berry Law, we fight alongside those who choose to fight back. Call Berry Law at 402-999-7777 or visit berrylawfirm.com. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
It's unsportsmanlike conduct.
Don't come after my mom, man.
I didn't come after your mom. It was your father.
On 1620 The Zone.
He sneaks about the world from Miami to Carolina. He's a sticky finger filter from Maryland down to Belize. Take you for a ride on the boat to China. Tell me where in the world is
Mitch Sherman. He's on the telephone. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Good afternoon, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Good afternoon, John and Josh. How are you guys?
Great.
Pretty good. So what did we learn from pot roast? And what did we learn from Ed Foley, who probably had pot roast on one of his trips across the state last month?
If it's a Nebraska delicacy, then I think he did. I know he ate the pork tenderloin in Martinsburg, Nebraska.
Oh, is that from the guy with the menu with the guy's face on it that you were making fun of, Josh?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's Bob, I believe.
It looked pretty good.
I've never been there, but people in that part of the state say that it's a must stop. So if you get to the Norfolk area or in just northeast Nebraska in general, it sounds like Bob's is the place to go. And my understanding was that Ed ordered the wrong thing, that he was supposed to order the cheeseburger and fries.
Mm-hmm.
My information was that it feeds a family of 4. The one cheeseburger and fries. And Ed, in fact, got the pork tenderloin sandwich and a half order of onion rings. He said that the half order of onion rings were about 4 times more than what he needed. So he took a bunch back to his hotel room. I wasn't there today to see Coach Foley and Coach Knighton, but I did watch them on the video? Miracles of the Internet. And, like what I heard from both of those guys, I'm on assignment. I'm out in the desert of Arizona today, and tomorrow I'll be back for Matt Rule on Wednesday. But, you heard about pot roast, the origins of the pot roast, which is an entertaining story.
We explained that. Mm-hmm.
And then lots of special teams talk from Coach Foley, which I know Nebraska fans enjoyed.
Well, Mitch, speaking of Arizona, tangible benefits, in your opinion, of visiting Dylan Raiola with the number of coaches that they did. I heard kind of like a tongue-in-cheek take from like Saturday where it was like, because he kept saying like, or people would say, this shows that Nebraska really wants him. And it's like, yeah, we know they really want him, but what tangible benefits, in your opinion, is there from bringing that many coaches to a guy?
Well, you can say that you really want someone, and then you can show it. And that's a way for Nebraska to show it. Now, Georgia sent the entire offensive staff out to see Dylan Raiola this month. And, the interesting thing about sending coaches to see junior prospects right now is they can't really talk to them. So Dylan Raiola is standing there at his new high school, which he has yet to even attend a class at. And there are 9 Nebraska assistant coaches just lined up, and they can all shake his hand and say hello and look him in the eye. Not necessarily like the most substantive meeting, but it definitely means something. And these recruits like this, a player who is coveted by so many, as is the case with Dylan Raiola, the top prospect in the country in this 2024 class, and a quarterback at that. So it doesn't get much higher than that on the want and need list for all programs. I mean, everyone wants him. I mean, he's favoring Nebraska and Georgia and USC. It appears that it sounds like at this point after spending some time at the USC program this last weekend. All these programs want him, but there's only one that sent 9 coaches out to see him on the same day this spring. So it means something. It's a statement that they made to the family, and it's not likely going to decide where he delivers his commitment.
It was a disappointment, but I don't think anyone was shocked last year when Raiola first chose Ohio State. But would it be an even greater disappointment when on the rebound he wouldn't choose Nebraska a second time?
I mean, it would be a disappointment, but I don't know that you can look at it like any kind of it wouldn't be like some kind of bellwether or a sign that
no,
the Nebraska coaches aren't doing their job. They now are doing and will continue to until he picks a school. And if it's Nebraska, we'll continue to do it until the day that he signs. They're going to do everything they can to get him. That's really all. I mean, I could just continue to talk about that, but that's I think that sums it up. Matt Rule was here in Phoenix on the first day that coaches could go on the road in January, and then on the last day before they had to shut it down on the recruiting evaluation visits until the spring, they sent the entire staff, with the exception of Rob Dvorak, who was in Kansas with Matt Rule, and the head coach can come just once in that period. So Rule was not allowed by Rule to come back to Arizona until and he won't be. Head coaches can't go on the road in the spring either, so he can come back if Nebraska's still in the running for Dylan Raiola, and at that point it would be because he's committed to Nebraska in next year after the season, basically. So this may be the only time that Rule gets out here to visit with them. The rest of the work is going to have to be done on the phone, and of course the offensive line coach at Nebraska can visit anytime you want and stay at their house. So that's a benefit. Yeah,
very convenient.
To answer your question, it would be disappointing. And I don't really know how to quantify it in comparison to the disappointment that existed last April. That wasn't really a surprise, just because of where Nebraska was at in the trajectory of its program with Scott Frost in some on the hot seat. So that's not the case right now with the coaching situation. So maybe you could say it's more of a disappointment because Nebraska should be in a better position to land a player like this. But when you're going against the likes of Georgia and USC, everything's difficult.
Mitch, one more from me on Dylan. Do we have an idea on the timeline for when he wants to make his decision? I saw somebody report, or maybe it was just in passing last week, like March was the month that was brought up, and I didn't know if there was anything concrete that you have been able to learn.
Well, yeah, there's more I've been able to learn. He's it might be March. It might be. I don't think it's going to be before March.
Okay.
He has plans to go see Georgia and see Nebraska again. And he's going to see USC just because of where he's located and where he's doing some of his training on the weekends. He's going to have the opportunity to see USC probably a couple more times. And he'll make a trip to Athens. He'll make a trip to Lincoln. I don't think that he'll commit before then. But it could be any time after that, and it could be sooner if the moment hits him. And I'm saying this having just talked to Dylan a few minutes ago to really reveal everything that's going on here with these answers. He doesn't really know, so it's up in the air. But my read on the situation is that it's probably going to be March at the soonest.
And I'm guessing this is a tease to, of course, you're in the desert. Something we'll be watching for later this week in The Athletic.
Yeah, exactly. Probably on Friday.
Perfect.
Class of 23 will be sewn up and done on Wednesday, with 4 more for Nebraska to sign, 4 at the moment if there are no more commitments between now and Wednesday, and then it's already been on to 2024, but it's officially turned the page to 2024, and there will be a story on Dylan Raiola on The Athletic at the end of the week.
Talking with Mitch Sherman of The Athletic, Dr. Susan Elza recently turned in her resignation. She's going to be joining Matt Rule as chief of staff. This is the former director of the Texas, basically it's the Texas High School Athletic Association, similar to, it's called something different, but it's, I think, what is it, UIC, I believe, down in Texas?
UIL.
Or yeah. UIL. Here it's, of course, the NSAA. How can a high school administrator help Nebraska's staff?
That's a great question for Matt Rule on Wednesday. And I think at this point, although the hire hasn't been announced by Nebraska, and these aren't necessarily administrative hires aren't generally announced in a press release. They tend to just show up on Huskers.com with a bio. Maybe this one will be because she is in a high profile position in the state of Texas and extremely respected in the state of Texas. And having talked to some people around Texas high school football, it's very easy to see, and not necessarily in conversation specifically about her, more about Matt Rule, and then she has come up. She's seen as a rising star in the industry. I've heard people say like she's on a track to be the conference commissioner or the president of the NCAA. I mean, just thought of very in very high regard. And Matt Rule, I don't know exactly at this point without asking him yet what his connection is with her. Obviously, it comes from his 3 years at Baylor, but you don't normally see a lot of interaction between the director of the state high school association and the head coach at a Power 5 program. So clearly they cross paths somewhere. And Matt Rule was very involved with high school football and the High School Coaches Association during his time at Baylor. He hired 3 Texas high school football coaches, as we've talked about many times, to be on his staff. One of them is Joey McGuire, who has turned that into a head coaching job in the Big 12. And, now his son is on the Nebraska staff. So it's the ties are just all over the place between Rule and Texas high school football. So somewhere in there, he developed an appreciation for what Susan Elza can do, and she's coming to Nebraska as the chief of staff. Will be interesting to hear about that connection, and also about what she's going to do and what she's going to be to be able to add for Nebraska. I think just a very strong leader in an outstanding administrator. It would seem that she's going to be at or near the top of the org chart on the administrative side of Nebraska football.
Mitch, we've talked a couple times now, second signing day coming up in 2 days. I wonder now, 2 months in to the Matt Rule era, what have you taken from the transfers that they have brought in and the recruits that they have signed or will sign on Wednesday in terms of, how they view the roster that they inherited and maybe the weaknesses or maybe even the strengths that they think they have?
Well, you're looking at now 27 signees, all but one out of the high school ranks. There's the one junior college player, and then I believe it's 11 transfers at this point. So close to 40 on newcomers set to be on scholarship. And I'm not counting Xavier Betts and Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. So that is right at 40. You're almost half the roster in terms of the scholarship players, 40 out of 85 that are going to be new. And, somebody may get hurt or maybe there'll be an academic issue or things happen between January and August. There could be some additions. Maybe they'll get closer to 45. I don't know, but it tells me that one, they saw, you're not going to hear these coaches, the assistant coaches or Matt Rule, say anything derogatory about the players who they inherited. That's just not going to happen. They're not going to talk about dead weight on the roster. They're not going to talk about deficiencies that Nebraska has as they break down film. They're going to be positive and take the high road on all of that. It's just very apparent that's the tact that this staff will take. But you can also see in the number of players that they're bringing in that there's a need to turn over quite a bit, and I don't think in the future you'll see 40 newcomers in a year, even if it's allowed. They're fortunate that it's allowed, because generally in college football you're allowed to have 25 newcomers,
right?
In initial enrollees, and that has been waived in the wake of roster shakeups as a result of COVID. So last year and this year, it's unlimited. So Matt Rule and his staff are benefiting from that in a way that he didn't have the ability to do when he started over at Temple and Baylor.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. So be watching for his latest story. He's down in the desert, and he has spoken with Dylan Raiola.
Awesome.
Coming out later this week, probably Friday on The Athletic. And I'm sure, Mitch, we will probably be talking about it next week on the program. Thanks, Mitch.
I hope we are. I hope it's a story worth talking about. And Dylan's, everything that I've learned about him in the past is reinforced in our conversation today. I just watched him work out and spent a bunch of time with his dad and Dominic and who we all know well. And then Dylan and Dayton. Dayton was there too, and Dayton has grown. Dayton is another Raiola on the rise, who has a Nebraska football offer as a 2026 quarterback. He's in his freshman year of high school, which is amazing to think. And he's looking like a grown man. He did not when he was on the sideline in Lincoln last year. He looked like a little kid, and now he's 6 foot and every bit of 200 pounds.
Can they stop using the word D for names? Can they come up with different names?
Oh, John Raiola?
Yeah. No one uses John
anymore. Any more children. Their daughter, the oldest, is named Taylor. So
okay, there you go.
Taylor Raiola.
Only going with the boys and the D names, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Take care, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Mitch Sherman joining us as he does every Monday.
Interesting.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, I guess outside of winter conditioning, start of spring ball, which will be sometime in March, right?
Mm-hmm. Early March, I believe. Mid-March.
Maybe.
That's the story. That's the story now. This is the first time, John, that I would say that a player's recruitment has kind of become a large discussion point. I mean, like, I know Malachi Coleman, like, people care, but this one, like, I feel like I can always figure out how high name recognition there is based off of the types of family members that are asking about him. And this one kind of gets into the, wow, that person who never asks questions about personnel is like, so what's up with this Dylan Raiola guy?
Well, it also helps that the name Raiola is very famous around here.
Bingo.
That helps.
Bingo.
Yeah, he's kind of moving into Harrison Beck territory. And by that, I mean by name recognition, not by what they're going to be as a quarterback.
John.
Or maybe as a future musician. Or as an internet influencer.
That's the thing I was going to say.
But it does kind of take you back to the Callahan days when everyone knew every recruit's name.
Yeah.
We may have to do a game one of these days. Name the Husker recruits of 2005.
Oh, that's a great game idea. We could do we could name players, and then the listeners would have to guess which one was the fake name and which one was the real name.
Right.
Yeah, I like this. Remember Rocky Hines? Was it Rocky Hines? 2004 class. He went to USC. Rats.
No, this is only the 2005 class.
Okay. Great class.
Only the 2005 class. Because that was the celebrated class. Of which one of them was playing yesterday. Big Mr. Sue.
Wow. One of them was coaching yesterday.
One of them was coaching yesterday. Zach Taylor. How about that? That is the best Nebraska recruiting class of all time.
It's the GOAT.
Yeah, 2 guys involved in the conference championship games.
GOAT.
Still.
Yeah.
18 years later.
Nuts.
Damn.
That's crazy.
And somewhere Leon Jackson was probably watching the game.
Leon Jackson. I wonder what he's up to these days.
I don't know.
Back to Hawaii, maybe?
Could be. Well, it's that time of year. Well, you don't have to worry about furnaces in Hawaii necessarily, but here in Omaha, central part of the United States, it gets cold. It's still been very cold. And older heating systems can sometimes get cracks in the heat exchanger. That allows carbon monoxide to escape into your home's air, and that's a dangerous situation. Can be deadly. Please don't become a statistic. Get your furnace inspected. Still, even with only a couple of months left in the winter, it's important. Have it checked at least once a year. And at McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, they'll take care of it for you. They'll bring out their techs. Their inspections are some of the most thorough. Plus, you get a little bit of a cleaning. They'll tune it up to make sure it runs safely and efficiently the rest of the winter and into next year. Contact McCarthy's today at mccarthys1hour.com. And with every new maintenance inspection through the end of February, McCarthy's 1 Hour will offer half off on carbon monoxide detectors. McCarthy's 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, always on time or you don't pay a dime. mccarthys1hour.com.
For the Jays, the Huskers, and even you Jayskers, we are 1620 The Zone.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Visit Woodhouse Chevy in Missouri Valley for all your vehicle needs. The 2023 Chevy Equinox delivers safety and technology with style. And now at Woodhouse Chevy, lease a 2023 Equinox for $329 a month for 36 months. Or receive 2.99% APR when you finance through GM Financial. With a knowledgeable and friendly sales staff, you can find your new car, truck, or SUV with confidence. Schedule a test drive of the new Equinox at Woodhouse Chevy. Exit 75 off I-29 Missouri Valley or WoodhouseGM.com. Chevy, find new roads.
As a Walgreens pharmacist, I talk with people all the time about little tips and tricks for filling their Medicare prescriptions, like taking advantage of Walgreens 90-day refills to save them a trip, or using Refill by Scan, which is super easy and right on your phone. And for anybody worried about prescription costs, I say, hey, we got you, with low-cost copays on many medications.
Let's talk about making things easier. Walgreens is here. Fill your way and save at walgreens.com/Medicare. See pharmacists for restrictions and exclusions.
Omaha Maverick Hockey is top 5 in attendance because of great fan support. And with your help, they've won 6 conference home games in a row and are just 2 points out of first place in the NCHC. Omaha Hockey has 2 home series left this season. Colorado College, February 10th and 11th, and the home season finale and senior weekend against St. Cloud, the #1 team in the nation. Let's pack the Baxter. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tickets.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're starting to speak another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right. And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
It's incredible. After using Babbel, I'm ready to start having real conversations in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or video. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
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 Babbel, évidemment.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
1620 The Zone's Unsportsmanlike Conduct is brought to you by Union Bank and Trust. Now back to the program.
Look, I made you some
Unsportsmanlike
content.
Unsportsmanlike content. Unsportsmanlike content. Content that's unsportsmanlike. So Josh just retweeted a story from the San Francisco Chronicle. There was they did not name the player, right?
Correct.
There was an unnamed 49er player who said, quote, "It felt like once Purdy got hurt, someone at the league called down and said, make sure the Eagles get to the Super Bowl and not them." You know, as much as I have disliked Frisco over the last 40 years, I've always respected them from the standpoint of they've always handled themselves in an upper class manner through their different regimes and ownerships. I feel even more strongly than ever that this team melted down yesterday, and this is very unbecoming of this franchise.
Beat writer John chimes in again.
10,200 plus days and counting.
Who's got the beat? John Bishop does.
Mm-hmm.
The Big East had a wild weekend, and now 3 teams, Xavier, Marquette, and Providence, sit atop the conference. Creighton is in 4th, and UConn, losers in 6th of their last 8, now sits in 6th place. What the hell is going on in the league, John?
Same thing that's always going on. It's a tough conference.
People forget.
I think it's you still have, I believe the record is 21-0. The top teams in the league, the top 4 teams are 21-0 at home in conference play. So it's going to take
who can break through and win on the road.
Who can break through and win on the road. And there's still plenty. I mean, Creighton still has to go to Providence. Marquette and UConn, well, UConn's not in this race anymore, but Marquette has to come to Omaha. I know that Providence is in Xavier. I think they're in Xavier. Is that right? Providence is at Xavier this week. Someone's got to break through. Got to break through the loggerhead. But, yeah, home court has been tough to penetrate in this league, and it is going to be a fascinating race to the finish.
Look, man, I think you just hit on it. That is a big reason why. And not having, like, there are obviously very good teams atop the league, but maybe not having that truly, like, upper echelon.
Well, you don't have the Villanova.
Yeah, I should have just said Villanova. You don't have Villanova.
But honestly, you really can't name a lot of those teams in college basketball, period.
No.
There doesn't look like that one team or that two teams like, oh, yeah, those guys.
Yeah, I think what you said, though, I think is maybe the point of them all. If everyone's winning at home, you're going to see this type of thing. It'll be interesting to see what happens in February.
Here's a cringy moment that triggered Kansas City from Cincinnati's mayor.
Good afternoon, Cincinnati. I have a proclamation from the desk of the mayor. Be it proclaimed, whereas the Cincinnati Bengals are headed to Burrowhead Stadium for their second consecutive AFC Championship game. Whereas at last year's game, the Bengals scored more points than the Chiefs, resulting in a Bengals victory and a Chiefs loss. Whereas Joseph Lee Burrow, who's 3-0 against Mahomes, has been asked by officials to take a paternity test confirming whether or not he's his father. Whereas all season long, Cincinnati has been on a path of destiny, fighting it out to overcome anyone who stands between them and a Super Bowl win. And whereas Kansas City is named after its neighboring state, which is, just kind of weird. Now, therefore, I, Aftab Piraval, Mayor of the City of Cincinnati, do hereby proclaim January 29th, 2023 as They Gotta Play Us Day in Cincinnati. Thank you.
John, would you like to remind folks why politicians shouldn't talk about sports?
Because they always come across as stupid. Dumber than they normally are.
Politicians, don't listen to John. Keep doing it.
If you actually want to be good at your job.
No, I don't care about that. Keep doing it.
Josh doesn't care if our country gets led and driven into the ground by dumb politicians. I care about my country. Stay in your lane.
No.
Stay in your lane. I'm not in this for your takes. I want you to lead us and be good, responsible leaders, not idiots who get caught up in this stupid fandom of sports that obviously they don't pay attention to most of the time.
Bad take. I could not disagree with you more. I love when politicians talk about sports because they're idiots and they don't know what they're talking about. It's hilarious. We wouldn't have this questioning content without it. More politicians should speak about sports.
And as a result of this, we got all these Chiefs fans filling our mentions with how disrespected they were.
John, they'd be triggered about the Chiefs fans. They wake up and they get.
Yeah, but this gives them the moral high ground.
The Chiefs.
You got the mayor of Cincinnati, Dingbat, what's his name?
Dingbat, what's his name?
Might as well be.
Does The Rock need to slap a cease and desist on Travis Kelce?
How about this beautiful trophy? Huh? Hey, I got some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni. You gotta fight for your right to party! I knew he was gonna be up for one more of those. Congrats.
Also the Beastie Boys. Should they also sue?
Man, it stuns me that people don't like him. I actually like Travis Kelce.
I saw the fit he was wearing earlier in the press conference. Yeah. Kind of dug it.
In on the fit.
It's
a Fitbit?
Outfit.
No, outfit, John. Outfit.
Why didn't you just say that?
Fits faster.
Because
I
have to shorten everything.
No,
pretty soon it's just going to be. You're not even going to talk. You're not even going to say words. You're just going to be like.
We're going to use emojis for everything.
Emojis.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Should he though? Should The Rock?
No, he didn't say, "Do you smell what Travis Kelce is cooking?"
No, but he used the "know your role." That was a rock line.
Oh,
And
okay.
jabroni, that was a rock line.
I liked it. Jabroni is an underused word.
I thought jabroni was Iron Sheik. Did Iron Sheik ever say
Iron
jabroni?
Sheik uses jabroni.
Okay.
It's an insider wrestling term, but The Rock brought it to the public discourse.
Boy wonder, Kellen Moore is out in Dallas. Was this the right move?
I think so.
But yeah, but now McCarthy's going to call the plays.
I know his numbers on the, were very good most of the time in.
Yeah, but
Green
don't
Bay.
you think he should be focusing on I don't know, just being the coach of the team?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of.
Is this McCarthy's way? Because I
think this is his last stand, is what it is. I think that this
because he knows Dan Quinn is just waiting in the wings
Bingo.
to take his job.
And look, that doesn't have to be a negative. It probably will because it's the Dallas Cowboys. But this is going to be a put up or shut up year for McCarthy. I understand him saying it's why I was surprised that Frost gave up play calling. Now I know he had to, he was forced to, but this is going to be the year that decides if he stays or goes. And it was obvious that him and Kellen Moore were not really meshing well at the end. Dak, it'd be nice for him to, he's basically had the entire same playbook and voices inside his ears his entire career as a quarterback. I don't know. What's the worst could happen? They're bad and make me sad. Sounds like normal. Why not give it a go?
Meanwhile, Kellen Moore is now the new Chargers offensive
Very
coordinator.
intrigued by that. Yeah, very intrigued.
He just upgraded his quarterback big time.
He did.
So when the Niners begin their 23 season, who's left to be their starting quarterback?
I think it's going to be Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is going to start for him on day one. I think it's gone full circle. It's gone all the way back to Trey Lance.
Lance a lot.
And I'm serious, man. After our discussion earlier about Purdy, and maybe this is way too in the moment, but you just wonder if this run was right place, right time, an incredible circumstance, an incredible run. It was really good. But you look at some of the teams they beat, not ultra impressive for the most part. And I mean, he had his limitations, He had his limitations.
You're probably right. Purdy has a UCL injury, which is basically the injury that causes Tommy John surgery for Major League Baseball pitchers. Going to be out at least 6 months. So by the time he's healthy and able to go, will he be ready for the season? We don't know.
Yeah, 6 months. 6 months from right now is the end of July.
I think
that's training camp, John.
It's after CWS.
And there are a lot of people who are out there. I saw a lot of Frisco fan polls that were saying Tom Brady, Tom Brady, Tom Brady.
People forget he grew up rooting for the 49ers.
He was a fan as a little boy. So there's a new player in the game.
Do the last one, Nick.
LeBron James will miss tonight's game versus the Nets because of ankle soreness. John, is this the thumb on the scale you were talking about with the NBA last week?
Oh, about him maybe rigging it so that the record
it
would
would
be
happen on
broken
Thursday. It happened
on Saturday, which is a primetime game.
How many points away is he now?
Well, did he hurt his ankle when he collapsed to the ground begging for a foul? When did that happen?
That was on Saturday night.
No, I know. No,
Jeff Saturday?
No, I'm asking when the ankle injury happened. Did it happen during
good question.
During the spastic, gestations on the floor?
Good question. Oh.
I don't know, but it's possible.
Thumb on the scale.
It's possible.
Wow, you sound like a 49er player.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm not questioning.
Everyone has a conspiracy theory about everything these days.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yes, about current actions.
You've never had a conspiracy theory about anything of things that actually matter.
Not about anything current.
Like the deaths of presidents.
What? Oh, wow. Josh has a conspiracy theory that everyone else had, not stupid ones like the NFL wanted the Eagles to win or LeBron James.
Everybody else. You're the first person I ever heard thought the motorcycle cop killed Kennedy.
I heard it from somebody else, so you're an idiot
Yeah,
for not paying attention.
No, I'm smart for not paying attention to lunatics' conspiracy theories.
John, pay attention. Pay attention. Use your third eye, John, to pay attention. That's a fun conspiracy theory, not.
Oh yeah, someone died.
QAnon.
That's a fun conspiracy theory.
I mean, like
when people die, Josh says fun conspiracy
theories
theory.
behind it, John. That's the fun part, not the death. It's the other stuff that's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure if you walked into, if Jackie Kennedy were still alive today. No, I'm not talking about these. I mean, but isn't it fun
Jackie,
to theorize about it?
Also, I like your sunglasses.
Isn't it fun to theorize that maybe the motorcycle cop killed your husband instead of the lone gunman up in the 6th floor?
Do you know what Nick's theory is on that assassination?
No.
He was gone. Oh, yeah. Nick's is
you were
wild.
gone. I'll tell you at break.
It's wild. John, it's wild.
You're going to hate it.
Oh, I'm sure this is going to be really good.
John already does hate it.
I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah, indeed.
Bet of the day is next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Hi, friends. Kent Pavelka courtside getting ready for this year's matchup between the Average Roofing Companies and the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. The Average Roofers are just that, average at best, not very impressive. The Rooferees, above and beyond the opponent, more dependable, service that exceeds the norm, good sportsmanship, fairness, and integrity. You know them, you love them, and they're ready to win for you. Make the right call with John Higgins Weather Guard. It's tip-off time with the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Creighton coverage on the Zone is presented by Berry Law. At Berry Law, we fight alongside those who choose to fight back. Call Berry Law at 402-999-7777 or visit BerryLawFirm.com. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
Omaha Maverick baseball and softball season tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a pitch or run scored. 2023 season tickets include in-state rivals Creighton and Nebraska. Get your tickets by calling 402-554-MAVS. That's 402-554-MAVS.
I studied Spanish in college and never got fluent. But then I tried Babbel.
Want the most effective way to learn another language? In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's bite-sized lessons will have you learning another language in as little as 3 weeks.
Babbel gets you speaking quickly about things you actually talk about in the real world.
University studies have shown that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester of college Spanish. If you want to learn a new language, there's no better way than Babbel. Go to Babbel.com to try Babbel for free. That's BABBEL.com.
Chris, this needs to go to Parkville by 3.
Joy to the holiday packages that keep coming at Jimenez Couriers.
It's coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime? Anyone?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
That's a mighty big nightstick you have there, officer.
Of 1620 The Zone.
And you know why I'm laughing, don't you? Now, it's time for the Unsportsmanlike Conduct Bet of the Day.
Just a little bit under where some folks would like to see this one wind up.
Brought to you by nobody.
You gotta be kidding.
Really, we don't have a sponsor. Sorry.
All right. On Friday, John had the over in the Creighton Xavier game. The under hit. I had the Chiefs -1.5. They did indeed win and cover. And Nick had a 2-teamer with the Bucks and the Heat. By the way, Nick, with 2 days left in January, John said you would be down $1,000 by the end of the month. You are up $736.
I took it
and
personal.
So I think you have to make ridiculously crazy bets.
Oh, I like it.
Like a bet that pays -2,000.
Oh, the Serena Williams, as we call it around these
Serena
parts.
Williams.
You just want me to pick super heavy favorites from now on?
That's what John says you have to do. By the way,
can I start on February? I already picked
Nice.
mine for today.
What's you've already won, and congratulations.
Good job, Nick.
You've overcome. Good luck collecting.
You've done a really good job. Give me the Brooklyn Nets against the Los Angeles Lakers. The Nets are 9-point favorites at home in Brooklyn.
Give me Iowa State on the money line. The wrong team is favored. The Clones are at Texas Tech, and the money line's bumped up to plus 118.
Oh, Nick.
Wrong team is also favored, but hockey edition.
Oh,
I like music. Give me the St. Louis Blues to beat the Winnipeg Jets.
JTS.
Plus 188.
Do we think of St. Louis? You know, we always make fun of the whole Utah
Iowa.
Jazz thing.
Where they moved to Jazz where there is no music.
Do we think of St. Louis as the home of the blues?
No, the Kansas City's known for their blues. I don't know why St. Louis is.
I don't know. Just curious.
They're kind of far from each other, aren't they?
I guess I never did understand. I don't know the genesis of the nickname, the St. Louis Blues.
Did they start in Kansas City?
No, they were an expansion team that started in St. Louis.
Be funny if it was more about like
the color,
the color,
or being sad.
They were super into blues.
Well, I mean, if you were in St. Louis, you'd be sad too.
Blues. Oh wait, that's Christmas.
Yeah, it's called Blue Christmas.
Well, I was kind of there.
There's that. We got the blues. There's another song.
I was almost there.
Blue
By the way, if you missed it, Brock Purdy suffered a torn UCL. He's going to need Tommy John surgery. Absolutely crazy. Man, that look, and it was so weird how at first they're like, yeah, his wrist got messed up. I was like, I think that's his elbow. Ouch.
Oh yeah, as soon as that happened,
Josh.
It was like it's his elbow.
And then people are like, get back out on the field. You see, Reggie Bush was one of those people. Throw with your left hand. Guys, you don't have to have stupid opinions about everything.
Like, also, just because you had to do something doesn't mean somebody else has to do that thing too.
But it wouldn't have won him. It would obviously when he came back out there, he couldn't throw.
He couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah,
he couldn't throw the ball.
Yeah, he said he couldn't grip it. You know, like there's like the idea of toughness. It's like, yes, I understand that you should be able to play through some pain. You're a professional football player. If you can't do the job, though, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's one thing for a guy to play on a bad ankle. You can still throw the ball as a quarterback like Mahomes. You can still be functional. If you're a pitcher or a quarterback who has to throw the ball and can't throw the ball.
If my hands were broken, would you want me to produce?
Yes, we'd ask you to use your nose.
Oh,
to tap all the buttons. See you tomorrow.
Bye.